This is a How Is He podcast with Podge and Papa, proudly sponsored by Ampifi. Power up your podcast. Let's kick it off.
Welcome to episode 69. Who do you find that funny?
Not laughing at you.
Welcome to episode 69 of the How Is He podcast. Joined as always by my co-host Paul Papadoling right here in the fantastic facility that is Ampifi Studios in the heart of Carlow Town. This week we are joined by a man who has a wealth of knowledge in the game of soccer, and some could be said GA known his current roles. But anyway, he's been a manager of FC Carlow, Wexford Youths, Galway United, Dundalk and Cobh Ramblers. Along the way, picked won the President's Cup at Dundalk in 2021 and 2015 won the League of Ireland First Division with Wexford Youths with a back four and a budget of €150.
I never forget that shit.
Which is unbelievable. He's also on the airways with Newstalk, both commentating and analysing League of Ireland games. And he's also done many columns for national newspapers. Currently working for Licia as a development officer. It's about time we got him on. Our first live guest we had ever in the live show. This is the first recorded one. A massive welcome to Shane Keegan. Shane, thanks so much for coming on. How are you?
Gentlemen, how are you keeping?
How's things?
Last time I saw the two of you were sweating. My God, were you sweating that night? So you were.
Yeah, that was... it's funny because we pre-recorded a little one here before because we've announced our live show, but I asked Papa, were you nervous? And he goes, no, I wasn't. Me and mine, I'm thinking, yes, you fucking were.
Oh, yeah.
Both of us were.
What was it you said to me? You'll be out in around 25
20
minutes.
Yeah. He didn't have a bike and out of pizza. Shane, come on, rescue us quick.
It was right crack going, wasn't it?
It was
a great good crack,
yeah,
so it was.
yeah.
I was talking to a few people who were at it since, and they all seemed to really enjoy it. So
That was
it's so fair
brilliant,
play
yeah.
to you, you know. It was deadly. So
It's not
it was.
easy, though.
No,
it's
it's
not
amazing.
easy to do.
Very,
Yeah.
very different to the podcast,
Oh,
like, isn't
yeah,
it? When
yeah.
you're sitting out in front of people like that. But
It's nearly the opposite because when you're doing a podcast, you nearly crave the silence
yeah,
because it's an emotions thing.
yeah.
When you're doing a live show, the last thing you want is silence.
Do you ever find yourselves, now that you do this bit, do you ever find yourselves like watching a presenter and actually noticing stuff about him? Like I, you know, I'd have a whole different level of, say, like if I was to compare two people now, right? Say any of the clowns that presented Late Late Show, but particularly Tuberty, right? I'd be looking at Tuberty and I'd be going, so wooden, you know, and you can see, like, he asks a question. And while the other person is answering, he's already staring at his next question, and it's like, you're not even listening to the man's answer.
Yeah.
And then, like, you look at, like, Tommy Tiernan.
Just about to say it.
Like, the man is just phenomenal.
He's
so
brilliant,
he is.
yeah.
But, like, a format that should be problematic is actually what makes it so brilliant, because he can't have a set list of questions.
No.
So the only place he can find his next question is in your answer. So he has to listen so intently to your
You'd
answer.
often notice him, though, Shane, when he asks, like the one with Roy Keane on was brilliant. Roy Keane was asking, and when Roy Keane gives him an answer, he's like, it's like a 5-second pause.
Yeah. But
That digest.
Yeah.
And then bang, the next question comes. Like you said, there's nothing in front of him. He's brilliant. He's
But he's
absolutely
comfortable
brilliant.
with silence too, isn't he? Like
Oh, he is,
he has
yeah,
no problem
yeah.
letting his mind think before he opens his mouth.
Yeah,
Whereas
but
most of us just
Some
start
people
blabbing
make you
straight
feel
away.
uncomfortable in silence. He
Yeah.
make you feel comfortable in silence, which is a talent in itself.
Yeah, no, I find myself watching a lot of people kind of, when you're doing media, watching a lot of people like Joe Malloy who's gone from off the ball to the end.
Yeah.
Like, you know, just you're looking at, you know, I have I have what I'd call kind of pre-researched knowledge. You know, if I'm going on a show, I'll have an idea of what we're going to talk about, and I'll figure out everything I need to know about that. But like them top boys, the Joe Malloys and the Nathan Murphys, like the conversation could go in 10 different directions, and they still have loads of knowledge on wherever they end up.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's
Just press record, lads. Don't worry about anything else.
Yeah.
I love that. I like Tommy Tiernan. I tell you what I love, and it's a fantastic skill, and it's a skill that good coaches have, active listening.
yeah, he's the king of it.
Like,
He
he's
is.
unbelievable.
I
at
keep
it.
bringing his name up on coaching courses. When I run coaching courses, I keep talking about
Really?
because you always you end up on coaching courses talking about the importance of listening.
Yeah.
And any time it gets into a conversation about listening, Tommy Tiernan is my go-to man,
Yeah,
because I just think
He doesn't get any better, does it?
Such an active
he is the
listener.
best listener in the country. It's a mad thing to call somebody, but he is.
Yeah, but in podcast sense, me and Papa kind of came to the conclusion after a long time that your best question is the one that you don't write down.
Yeah. Best questions come from somebody else's answer.
100%.
I don't think a pre-wrote down one doesn't really.
Something that someone says and it's trigger off that.
Yeah,
And either he'll do it or I'll do it. And
like
then it's...
they said quite often the best question is, tell me more about that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Talk to
You
me
know,
about
because often somebody's answer initially is only scratching the surface. Whereas when you say, that's interesting, tell me more about that, that's when they actually go a layer or two deeper and you get the good stuff out.
brilliant.
Are you that? We weren't meant to start like this, but we have, so we want to go. Are you that much? If you talk about the broadcasting side of the house, right, yourself, because I know what you were like as a coach, right? Are you the same? Is your attitude the same as a broadcaster? It's like you've kind of touched on it there. Your research is heavy, and like I've never heard anyone come to me that's in this game that say that they're studying people's pauses and wait times. Like, is that you?
Yeah, like it's I probably sound a little bit like a knob saying this, but like I'm not naturally good at anything. Okay, I'm genuinely not naturally good at anything.
Why do you say that? You can't go past that.
No, I'm not. Anything that I've done to any level is because of the amount of time and effort and preparation that I've put into it. Like I could never have managed before the internet existed. I couldn't, because I had no playing background, so I had nobody to learn from. I had no stint as an assistant manager. I had nobody to learn from. Like I'm an internet manager. Like I know I'm slagging myself there, but I am. Like all my content down through the years was me watching stuff, listening to podcasts, watching stuff on YouTube, all that kind of like that wouldn't have been possible in the 80s or the 90s. Like you couldn't do that. Like I was born in the right era, thankfully, but I'm a bit of an information junkie probably. But look, I suppose the main thing is, and it's not something that I shy away from. Anything, pretty much anything I go at, I don't just want to do it. I want to do it to the absolute best of my ability, and I want to be better than everybody else at.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
It's a great attitude to have.
I think you've been harsh yourself though, Shane. Like, the coaching didn't start at internet phase. Like books.
Yeah.
I think you would have had the wherewithal to go to your local library or go somewhere to find a book. Like when I started coaching on the internet, and my first thing was a book. I never forget, forwarded by Higher Ed App. Yeah. It was the worst drills in the history of soccer on the book. But that's where I started.
Yeah. Yeah, but I suppose it's the follow-on now. Like now I'll read an article or I'll read a book and it'll just spark me that, okay, I need to know more about him, or I need to know more about how that person operates, or I need to know more about their background. And bang, you just hit the phone or hit the laptop and, you can find out everything you possibly need to know, Papa. You can find out everything you need to know, and I love that.
I love this is going way off topic. I love doing that, watching biopic movies. Right?
Go on.
This sounds nuts. So say, for instance,
Forward.
The last one I watched was Bob Dylan. I'm a Bob Dylan fan.
Great film. I watched it on the plane, yeah.
But just looking at the little things that happen, pause that. Let's see what this folk festival was. And all of a sudden you're going down a wormhole, that folk festival, and let's play again. Something else come up. You brought electric guitar somewhere. Like, that's why I'm like Jordan likes of them.
Yeah.
Like, but that's unreasonable thinking completely. Like, isn't it?
Another word would be warped.
Yeah.
But listen, what do they say? The rules are usually written by unreasonable people. Like being unreasonable is kind of can work for you a lot of the time. So it can.
I think it kind of dovetails in with the sport and coaching, Shane, because I think you need that obsession, especially if you're looking to hit a topic or try a system or a shape. I think you have to be obsessed.
Yeah. 100%. You do, and like again. There's healthy obsession and there's unhealthy obsession, and like anything, like people say management is like we kind of touched on this a small bit at the live show. Like people say management is like a drug. You become addicted to management, but people say that as a badge of honor. Like I'm all in. I'm addicted to it. There's pretty much no such thing as a good addiction, and football management is the same as any of the rest of them. When it takes up more than a healthy share of your life, and takes away from the other things in your life that should be important, that's not good. And that's where I have found myself on plenty of occasions. So that's not good,
Is it also having the mind to understand to separate from it as well, though?
Yeah, and look, depending on what levels you're operating at, you can separate from it. So, like, at the moment, my outside the day job, my only management gig is, I'm managing a senior hurling and football club in Tipperary. That takes up a lot of time, okay? As you can imagine, hurling is taken fairly seriously in Tip.
Yeah.
That takes up a lot of my time, but not so much that my home life is detrimental. You know what I mean? Like, the balance is...
It's enough.
Yeah, the balance is bang on. Like, the difference it makes for me, journey-wise, like, I'm probably, to be honest with you, in terms of on the grass and in terms of prep, I'm probably putting in as many hours with Brackens as I was with Cobh.
Right.
But the big difference is Bracken's 25 minutes for me. Yeah. Cobh is an hour and 45. All right. So not only is there the driving time there, but that's the time away from family. And in Connor's case, whereas it meant, been gone from Roisin and Connor, 3 to 4 times a week in Cobh, and Roisin been left at home having to, handle Connor on her own and all of that. Because Brackens is so close to me, Connor comes to every training session with me.
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden it's gone from
That's good for him, though.
Yeah, Usher, he loves it, and he's, baiting the ball off a wall and running around the field with the young lads and all that. But it's gone from her having to, keep him entertained 3 nights a week, to her having 3 nights a week to herself. Like, that's a complete flip. You know what I mean? He's gone with me. He's having the time of his life. She has some home time in there and all that.
Has to buy a lot of bat bombs, is she? I'm home alone.
Lush is the favourite shop. So it is.
Rituals.
So, I would say there's still an obsession there. We're about to head into our championship. I'm obsessed with trying to do the best we possibly can. But the balance is a kind of I'm back on the border, on the side of healthy obsession at the moment, whereas League of Ireland kind of can only ever really be the unhealthy obsession. It's so all in. Yeah. And GA wise, I would maybe have aspirations of maybe at some stage having a crack at an inter-county job, but I'm also fearful, does that just become like a League of Ireland job and become so all consuming that everything else, work life and home life,
hurling or football inter-county? What would you fancy?
Probably the hurling. Yeah. I'm still only figuring out the football. I'm only still very, very new to Gaelic football, so I have a top class coach with me down at Brackens.
How do you find that the ball on the floor, ball in the hand? How do you find that as a coach? I got a lot of positive feedback. Like, again, honesty to me has tended to always be the best policy. The Brackens thing worked out in that Brackens came after me to see would I go in as the hurling manager. I asked questions about how was the whole hurling football thing going to work. They kind of gave me an outline of it that sounded quite messy to me. The players were the exact same players, so literally the 25-man senior hurling panel is the 25-man senior football panel.
Go away, are they?
To a man, and nearly pretty much positionally as well. Which is
that as a
yeah.
As
so
well.
the same principles apply.
Wow.
It's ideal.
It's gas, and you'll often see the other way in soccer towards Gaelic. Like a defender in Gaelic football could be a striker in soccer.
Yeah, have you seen that? Did you see that? Were either of you at David Clifford's Candy Cup year?
Yeah.
David Clifford,
centre
back.
Yeah.
Centre back. I heard him saying it the other day.
He was unbelievable.
Class, absolutely class. But he was centre back. Yeah, so that kind of proves your point. Oh, without doubt.
What's the name was on that? Chaps left up front. Adam Duck. He was on that Kerry team.
Was he?
Yeah.
He moved up this direction from down.
He went to college in IT.
Okay.
In Carlow and stuck around. Damien Locke had a connection there, and Damien brought him out.
Adam. The Smollett.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about, actually. Yeah.
Very good Kerry side, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But listen, Pod, both of you, you'll have seen. Like, I love going. I go to the Kenny Cup every year. 1, because I love it, but 2, because I just have to have the program. I have all the programs saved up, and I go back through them. And I love, going into an old program, and I'll play a little game with myself. When I go to a program, open a page on a team, and have a look and go, okay, how many of these fellas have had a League of Ireland career, as opposed to how many of them have ended up in inter-county GAA players. And it's nearly always the second column that wins.
Really?
Like, you go through your past Kenny Cup programs, I'm telling you, you'll spot more former inter-county players than you will fellas who've gone on and had a League of Ireland career. I opened it the other day.
It's a lot harder to do League of Ireland, though, Shane, is it?
Yeah. And opportunity is far less, obviously, as well. You have the whole country.
I'm not saying it's easy being inter-county. It's obviously hard as well, but...
No, I'm not saying the commitment level is any different. I'm just talking about the amount of opportunity.
Yeah.
Like, realistically, you have 10 Premier Division sides. You've got 20 panel places, so that's 200 people who can play in the League of Ireland. As opposed to the opportunity in terms of being able to play for at an elite level in GA. There's just more opportunity there, really. So there is,
Yeah, I must dust off. I have at least 15, 20 of them at home. I'd say I must dust them off.
They're deadly, yeah. I opened one the other day, and I opened it on North Tip, a North Tip side from about 6 years ago. And here I spotted in the same team our full forward with the Laois senior hurlers, Gerard Quinlan, but standing beside him, his strike partner down at the Kenny Cup was Darren McCarthy. Who's been the best hurler in the country this year.
No way.
Near enough in around.
Close enough to us, yeah.
Yeah. Serious soccer player apparently back when. But that we see that time and again. Like, particularly, obviously, my upbringing was in the Kilkenny League. Like, our Kilkenny Kenny Cup squad was the Kilkenny inter-county hurling squad. Like, it was pretty much the exact same.
Was it? Yeah.
Pretty much sure, Mikey was the best hurler in the country, probably. when he moved to Aston Villa. Near enough the best hurler in the country. I remember there's a picture from Mikey's Fela year where he has a 21-yard free, I think, in injury time, and they're 2 points down. And they were playing, it was a Cork club, I can't remember which of the Cork clubs, but they were playing a Cork club in the Fela final. And the entire 15 players are between Mikey, I think it was on the front page of the Indo, the entire 15 players are between Mikey and the goal. And Mikey still got the ball into the back net. They won the game by a point.
Did you listen to his podcast?
Yeah.
It's good, wasn't it?
Absolutely brilliant. Brilliant. It was only
So
talking about
hard,
him last
wasn't
week.
it?
Super. Yeah. No, he was brilliant. I thought it was top class listen now, fair play.
Did
on
you get
both
to
sides.
the Leinster final when you walked?
No, I was at the semi-final.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was at Evergreen semi-final, and I had something on the day of the final myself, so I wasn't
Did you
able
fancy
to
them?
get
Did you
down.
fancy Evergreen?
I did, yeah. Yeah, I did. Yeah, look, I didn't know what I was weighing it up against because I'd have seen feck all of Newark. I'd know Newark, and obviously I'd know, Dean and stuff like that. But yeah, based on what I saw in the semi-final, they were by miles the better team in the semi-final. And I
Who did they play in the semi-final?
crowd from Dublin. Who was it?
Rock
Yeah,
Oh, Rock
Ian,
Celtic,
Ian
yeah.
Birmingham was playing left back for them. And,
It was all in the pass for the goal.
Killian Brennan was on the line for them and all of that.
The bet wasn't round before, or 2 rounds
That's,
before.
yeah.
Was it? Yeah.
They gave us a nice trim in 2 rounds before, but they caught us lovely. We were like lambs to slaughter. But
Yeah, I know. Look, they're a serious side, and I was delighted for Gary. Like Gary Gary's a top fella. Gary Maher, who's over them, absolutely brilliant fella. I'd have massive time for him, and he's been banging on the door there for a while. So he has. So I was delighted to see him get over.
Don't
that
come
line
around
in
too often, do
particular.
they, them games?
No.
The Leinster finals, like.
No, it was brilliant to have 2 local sides though. In it.
What do you think of the venue?
That's class. Yeah, that was a bit of a strange one, was it? But
Is it not prestigious enough to have a League of Ireland ground?
Oh yeah. Which
Like-
League of Ireland ground? Though?
Well, sure, probably Waterford would have been for both, would it?
Yeah, but that's the problem. They couldn't move it to.
Yeah, but it's place-wise, though.
had to be.
Like, we're Leinster,
Carlisle Grounds was
Wexford
the
Youths.
one for me.
Yeah.
Bring
Yeah.
bring Bolton to
Yeah.
Same
Might
distance.
would have
make
been,
sense,
yeah. Wexford, maybe, you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Bolton to Bray, I would have.
But no, look, I'd have known. I'd have had a huge amount of that Kilkenny side or that
Right,
Evergreen side, my Kilkenny underage team. So I was delighted for them. And look, I can tell you now that I made a strong move for Mikey and Lee when I was Cobh manager. And the two of them knocked me back.
Did they?
Lead Laney.
Lead Laney and Mikey, yeah. And I'm not talking about 50 quid.
Shillings.
I'm not talking about 50 quid a week here. Like I made a proper move for the two
Delaney's
boys.
excellent, isn't he?
Ah, listen, he's an animal. He's an absolute animal.
He just bosses it, doesn't he?
yeah. He's easy,
Especially junior level.
yeah.
Like
He's easily League of Ireland first division.
He is.
Oh,
It's like
easy.
we said this many times about
Yeah.
Dean.
Yeah.
And like Mikey, Lee Delaney.
Yeah.
A couple of players in the big teams in Carlow to go play League of Ireland. But like,
The man, the 6 for Evergreen is, I think, is
he's an excellent player.
Iffy,
Yeah,
isn't it? Is it
iffy. Yeah.
He's busy.
Yeah.
technically I wouldn't say he's fantastic, but what he does in transition that I really admire. I think he's very good.
Yeah, I remember going and watching. I watched him a couple of times in pre-season as well, and your man caught me eye at that stage, Ethan Phelan. I thought
yeah.
he looked a good player as well. But like, I still absolutely love when you're a League of Ireland First Division manager. I love finding an unpolished diamond at junior level, and bringing him in, and everybody
Yeah.
going, Jesus, where's
Who's
this
your
lad
man?
after?
Yeah.
Because they have that kind of rough around the edges street football, or kind, you know, the ones who haven't been in an academy setup, Podge, the whole way up along, because like academy setups are good and they're serving the purpose, but
Technical though, isn't it? Yeah. Robot like.
you get a fella who
Just wants to play the game.
instead of going League of Ireland at 17 was playing with adults and was getting the shit kicked out of him and getting kicked from pillar to post. You bring him in, like, again, you know, say when Graham Delaney came in at Wexford, you know, people like that. There's a real buzz to be got out of that. Keane Brown, who I brought into Cobh Ramblers, who
Graham
had
Doyle would have
been
been
the
the same as
stand.
well, really, wouldn't he?
Which practically that whole Wexford team, near enough,
Yeah.
had come from junior football. But there's just there's a different feel about them, so there is. Even at Galway, even when I was Premier Division at Galway, we brought in a fella, Owen McCormick. I went to watch the Connacht final, Connacht club final.
Junior football.
Junior final. Ballinasloe against one of the Galway sides. This boy, Owen McCormick, was playing up front for them. Like, it shouldn't be a secret. Like, he scores a hat-trick in the Connacht club junior cup final. And he just looked deadly, you know, and went and had a chat with him, and yeah, he was absolutely up for him, brought him in, and like, he did brilliantly for me, you know.
Yeah.
Like, probably the most famous one was John Caulfield at Cork when he brought in, Mark O'Sullivan from Avondale. And like, he went from 26, 27 years of age, never having played League of Ireland, playing junior all his life. To John Caulfield brings him into Cork City, and the following year he gets League of Ireland Premier Division Player of the Year.
Wow.
Unbelievable, like.
Jesus Christ.
But they're out there. Spot Murphy.
Ah,
You know, there's the famous
They're out
ones. There's Dean is the famous one in Carlow.
Yeah.
Mikey's the famous one in Kilkenny. Spot's the famous one in
Wexford,
Wexford. What's his name? Walsh with Villa, the centre forward. Dean Walsh, is it?
In Waterford.
Dean, sorry.
In Waterford with Waterford Villa. You know, there's the standout Owen Hayes at in the Clare League with what did we say the boys were called? Newmarket Celtic.
Yeah.
You know, there's the standout ones that everybody knows of, but for whatever reason, I remember there was Darragh Rainsford in Limerick as well. I remember trying to get Galway United, and sometimes these boys knock you back. Sure, didn't I just tell you, Lee and Mikey did knock me back.
Shane, I love watching him play.
Yeah.
Like I love, like we get Dean obviously a couple of times against Hanover in the year. Like some things he does in the game, he's just like you can't do anything about it. Like he's playing above his level.
Yeah.
You know, so it's great players to watch every week.
But I love when it's almost Disney, right? When you get that unpolished person to go into League of Ireland because they're unknown as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Not just for the guys they're with, around them, the clubs around them. Who's your man? Who's your man in the 10 there?
They can't have done their homework on him because they don't even know who he is.
They clearly create their own story. Like, do you know what I mean?
So listen, we brought like everybody in Wexford knew with Spot, like, you know, and Spot had knocked Wexford back on numerous occasions under previous managers, and he knocked me back the first one or two times, and I don't know what changed, but he came in to us, and
is it just no interest?
Sure, he's just one of the lads.
He's relaxed,
you know what I mean? Like he's the
lads.
ultimate townie. You know, he's just one of the lads, and he was comfortable in his own environment. And I don't know what twigged with him that he decided he was going to come in, but I mean, he was absolutely outstanding. Like we played.
He's a winner, isn't he?
We bet Shamrock Rovers in a league game when Nutsy Pat Fenlon was manager. Because I remember Nutsy locked him in the dressing room for, I'm not exaggerating when I say, well over an hour after the game. But basically, but basically, Spot bet him single-handedly. Like we played 4-5-1 because he had to defend for your life against Rovers. We played 4-5-1, left Spot up there on his own. And he I can't remember who the centre backs were at the time, but you can imagine they were big names in the league. And he just bullied the life out of him. And then thankfully the whole homeboard thing worked in my favour because Fenlon came back with a big offer for him. Came in with a big offer for him to go to Rovers, and I was like, I know I'm grand where I am there, lads. You're all right, you know. That kind of
He's
a
just
way,
one of the lads, isn't he?
See, 100%.
Top player as well, though, to be fair.
Big time.
Yeah. We do have questions.
Sorry about that. That was a long intro, wasn't it?
And that's it for this week. We are going to try and focus on League of Ireland, right? So, has it ever been a better player, Shane?
I was joking the other day. I was joking, but not joking the other day. I think the timeline of when there was money in the League of Ireland literally coincides with when I've been in the League of Ireland. There was loads of money in the League of Ireland. I came into the League of Ireland as a manager. The money dried up. I've left the League of Ireland as a manager, and there seems to be loads of money in it again, Papa. It's in a really healthy position, Podge, at the moment. Absolutely no doubt about it. Now, it seems to be built on stronger stuff this time round as well. Like the league has been so boom and bust. Sure, there was a period of time there, lads, where every team who won the League of Ireland was relegated to the first division within 2 years for financial regularity.
Right.
Still wasn't there?
Yeah.
Honest to God. Whereas now you look at things, and it's interesting actually. One of the papers had a very good article on it recently. The different ownership models across the league, and you know how that affects what the different clubs can do. Like Rovers probably have the ideal one where there's massive money from the supporters end of things and their ownership, and then you've got the massive money coming in from the likes of Dermot Desmond as well. Now, the only thing is there's been conflict there as well with Dermot Desmond and all of that kind of stuff. But the big thing there is if Desmond and your man who's involved with Pepper, if they walked in the morning, Rovers are still fine.
Yeah, they have Europe as well, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, they're like I won't say they're self-sufficient because it's amazing even with the money that came in through Europe, they still lost big money last year. But you look at Derry City, now it's highly unlikely to happen because Philip O'Doherty seems completely and utterly invested in Derry as a person. I'd say he'll be there till his dying day, and then his kids will take it on after that. You can see that family owning Derry City for the next
long time,
50 years. But technically, if he decided to walk in the morning, holy shit,
they're in trouble.
What happens now? Because you're not talking about millionaire stats here, you're talking about billionaires. Like he stole his shipping company for 1.3 billion.
Yeah.
You know, so that's the money that you're talking about there.
Jesus.
If that money disappeared in the morning, what happens to to Derry. Now, I'm sure the supporters could probably rise and take it over as a supporters entity again.
Wouldn't be the same though, Shane.
Wouldn't, no. But that's why, I'd have massive admiration for Bohs. Like, Bohs been completely fan-owned, and yet probably having a budget that allows them to compete basically purely on the back of marketing genius. Like, they get slagged for all these different jerseys and all these different marketing. It's unbelievable what they're doing, Podge. I swear to God.
Carpets, that's Bohs, is it?
But Papa,
Yeah,
that's
right,
they've done an Oasis line. I seen a wrestler wearing their jersey on wrestling a couple of weeks ago. Who I would love to sit in on one of their meetings.
It's a guy called Daniel Lambert is the brains behind the whole thing.
I'd love to speak to him.
Like, you talk about the FAI and what is going right and what isn't going right, and you know how the people who are making decisions in there and all of that kind of stuff. Like, if I was to pick out 5 people in Ireland who the FAI should be bringing into the house to take things in the right direction, it's a no-brainer that he's one. It's an absolute no-brainer that he's one. He is a seriously clever operator, and basically, and you know, they're a fan-owned club. By and large, fan-owned clubs shouldn't be able to compete with the Dermot Desmonds and the Philip Dohertys of this world. They shouldn't be able to. But because they're just doing things in a different way, the whole kind of...
It's an achievement on its own though, Shane, isn't it? Big time. No, they have to be admired. Like, they really, really do have to be admired.
But they're so far forward thinking that their methods and that are something that haven't been tried at the top level of the game, in my opinion. The way they've created a kind of an atmosphere around the fan base, the way they've created an atmosphere around the club, I've never seen it at any club ever.
Yeah, and they get slagged for like the hipster club,
but
and all this,
and
they're, you know, they're...
But you're always going to get that.
They don't.
Well, like, it's brilliant. Like, Bob Marley played there 40 odd years ago.
Yeah.
Jersey, probably one of the best selling jerseys across Europe, I'd say.
Did you see the ad they created for the launch of the Oasis jersey?
Yeah.
Like, it's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
2 of the players walk into a pool hall and they're handed out their cues by Paul Weller. Like, They go and play a game and Paul Weller's, all right, guys, talking away to them and all this. Next thing, Jordan Flores takes off his top and here's the new Bohs jersey with Oasis across the front. Like, it's just... It's marketing genius. Like,
they even done
this is
Dublin
getting
bus.
retweeted by, you know, everybody
Everyone.
and anybody. Oasis are retweeting it, Paul Weller's retweeting it, everybody's retweeting it. Like, it's genius stuff.
Do you remember the Dublin bus jersey?
Yeah.
That looked like the chair.
Yeah. Imagine designing a jersey based on a bus chair.
You wouldn't get it if you went to look for them. No, you wouldn't get them online.
Nah, I think they're unbelievable. Sligo again, being supporter owned. You know, they look like they've probably done enough now to certainly avoid the automatic relegation spot. Look like they could possibly even catch Galway and avoid the relegation playoff spot. Again, 100% fan owned. Okay, not the same budgets as would be at Bohs, but like they have like a fundraising draw every year that's just beggars belief, the money that comes in. Like, it's one of the only towns, I would say, Podge, that I've ever been in that is decorated for their football club the way counties decorate their towns when a team is in All-Ireland hurling final or football final. Yeah. They're a proper
football town. Yeah, I've been there. I've been up there loads of times.
Yeah,
been to their academies and that. And it's funny you say that, because that struck me when I was up around the ground and that. I was like, this is actually a proper football town. Yeah.
Like, but no, look, in terms of, obviously the European money has jumped up massively. That's a big help. Even before you qualify for Europe, the money that the clubs all get now from UEFA has increased massively. You would just hope again that they don't fall into the same trap of it all going into a first team squad and gambling on making Europe and all of that kind of crack. But I think it's kind of a case of once bitten, twice shy, hopefully. I think they've learned lessons. Most of the clubs seem to have learned lessons. And there's a hell of a lot more money going into the underage structure now than there
just
ever was
about to say it, I think the fact that the underage structure was pretty concrete in most clubs, I think it'll make them avoid the same mistakes happening again.
And that's feeding into the attendances as well, lads, because before, you think about it, before when the schoolboy clubs ran underage football in this country, which isn't that long ago, like when you think back to it, really, a League of Ireland club was a League of Ireland senior men's team. That was it. That was the entirety of what a League of Ireland club was. Whereas now a League of Ireland club is the senior men's team, the 20s, the 17s, the 15s, the 14s, the women's team. You know, you look at all the various
football
different teams, all the different strands that. Yeah. And if you're Papa, if your 14-year-old is playing with the Bohs under 14 team, you're going to go and watch the Bow senior team on
Of course
Friday
you are.
night. Of course you are, because you now have an affiliation with that club, and that's helping feed into the bigger attendances around the place and the whole lot. So no, look, it's on a really, really good foot, and the Virgin deal has been brilliant. The Virgin deal has been absolutely brilliant to finally have a fixed game in a set slot every single week. Is brilliant, and I think they're doing the coverage brilliantly. You have every goal 10 minutes after the final whistle. Brilliant.
But even the game last week,
like
that was the bottom two teams in it. It was a like Cork must be sick. Like it's a proper game of football, so it was.
It's actually in a position, lads, where
the bottom two in it,
where you don't have to go to the ground to be a fan of it.
Yeah.
And if you go back 10 years, Shane, you had to go to the games to be a fan of it. I'm talking. I'm talking 10 years ago or less. You do not have to get up now and go to a ground to be a fan of League of Ireland football. And I don't think people understand how big of a step that actually is. And then to follow on to that, to show that you have a Newstalk, like that's massive.
That's just great crack, It's deadly.
Well, I'd say listenership in that is brilliant. I'd say it's well up there.
Look, it's following the English model of your talk sports and all of that kind of crack. I hope we try to be a little less controversial. Maybe all going well. There's not quite as much abuse getting fired out on it, but just to have a medium to be able to voice your opinion within a half an hour of the final whistle and vent at whatever you want to vent at. And it never goes OTT, to be fair. And, we'd have our finger on the pulse there that if somebody was going that direction, you'd try and steer the conversation away. And if they really just don't kind of pull back, well, then you just cut them off.
If it was 10 minutes after final whistles, you might have a bit of issue. They kind of give it a half an hour window. Just
give us a minute.
Go up and boil
give us a minute.
Simmer.
Yeah.
Which I think is great. And I often listen to it. And I find it very good. And I wouldn't consider myself a League of Ireland fan, but now I would, because I can watch the games on a Friday. I can get the highlights instantly. Like, obviously, with Podge at Waterford, I try and get the Waterford games. By the way, he's flying.
Listen, it's ridiculous.
Isn't he?
He's absolutely ridiculous.
Scored again at the weekend.
He's
brilliant.
He's
a goal machine.
He's Peter Pan. I swear to God. There's no slowdown in him. There's absolutely no slowdown.
He's getting fitter.
And it's not just the goals, like it's the way he leads the press, and I've spoken to a few people, the way he, the ownership he has on that dressing room in the positive sense. He's something for the county to be proud of. Like he genuinely is something for the county.
I was talking.
What was it, 800 professional caps, was it?
Games, the other week there, yeah. I was talking to him the other night. I didn't say this to him because he would get a big head now. But I was thinking to myself, he's actually a template for a club signing players back from the UK. He's a template. So you're not only signing a guy who played a bit, you're signing a guy who's done the rounds, played up to a really good level in England, and coming back with an unbelievable attitude to not only change the way you play, change your fucking dressing room. Yeah. Like, he's a template. Like,
he is, but he's also the exception. Like, the majority of boys coming back, they're looking for a handy paycheck before they wrap up. The hunger to actually go to war for their team. Like, think of the level, if you've played at that level in front of however many thousand people, you can nearly understand how some players are coming back and just seeing it as a little bit of a retirement home. I'll pick up an easy check here. I'm not all in, really. Whereas he plays the game as if he's 18 years of age trying to get a move to England.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Not 30, whatever he is on, heading into the twilight of his career. He's a joy to watch. Like,
and that's not his actual intention. That's just the way he plays the game.
Oh yeah, he just doesn't know any different.
In my eye, it looks like his intention, but it's not.
Yeah. No, he just knows no different.
Yeah. No, but I understand what you're saying, but still, what I would say then for clubs, by seeing him come back and doing what he's doing, they should be saying, well, again, that's a template.
Yeah.
So we've signed 3 of these guys back from wherever and have done nothing for us. So we have to find that one.
Well, you see, you look like the majority of them haven't worked out. So like, Duffer didn't do anything when he came back as a player.
Horgan.
Damien Delaney didn't do anything when he came back as a player. Horgan is still more prime. Horgan was re-signed at an age that's a good bit younger, say, than some of the rest of them. Now, I'll tell you what's a mad one. I don't know if you had your eyes on it all, but Shells yesterday signed Sean Moore from West Ham. Sean Moore is 19 years of age.
I seen that.
So to me, this is an absolute first. This is a League of Ireland side signing, like paying a fee, signing a teenager from an English club. So he made his debut, I think, for Cliftonville at something ridiculous, 15 years of age. Played away for them for a couple of years, and then got a move over to West Ham. And apparently what happened was Shells inquired last week about whether he was available on loan. he wasn't available on loan, but then they also got, I think they got some kind of insight that maybe he wasn't that settled over there, and they actually came back with a firm actual upfront payment. So
that is a first.
It is. I can't think of another scenario where a League of Ireland club has signed a player, a teenage player from England.
Biggest one I can remember, Shane, is Rovers signing Ricketts.
Rohan Ricketts.
When they got the Euro, when they got into the European, the first time around.
Yeah, and he was
That's
probably
the only one, and he was at the twilight now.
Yeah. Like, you see the boy at Bowes this year, it's gone by the wayside already. Your man, Lise Mousset. Remember he played with Sheffield United there? Played in the Premier League, like, with Sheffield United. But again,
hasn't been an impact at all.
No, you get some mad ones, lads.
Is it a case to Shane that they think they're better than what they're coming back to? Like, in their own head?
Probably, yeah.
Like,
they probably think they can coast. And
if you're playing the Premier League in England, if you come back as a hunger and a desire to do well, to run the ground every single week, you have to stand out.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah. No.
But it's like, Paul Gammon, he's driven.
Yeah. But listen, like, you think... And what you see, what happens with say the young lads who go over and come back failed, if that makes sense. 20 years of age, they went over at 17 or, well, in our time 16, but now obviously it can't go over to 18, which is a massive help. And they come back at 20 years of age, disillusioned with the game, and they're done. They're done. Like, the amount, I think of a chap, David Murphy down Wexford, who went to Reading, but there's so many of them who go and they're done with the game at 20 or come back and have a bit of a go at League of Ireland for a year or two and just can't get the love back for the game because their big dream of making it across the water hasn't happened. And again, they just pack it in. I'll tell you,
them lads are, Shane. Them lads are sitting in the pub with 3 and 4 pints. Shut up, you, man. I played for Liverpool, or I played for Southampton. They are, man. You can't come back at 21, go to like Reading in England.
But the thing about it is, your journey doesn't start when you go to England, right? So for that kid, if you go back 5 years, they went over England as a young lad, has played with his club, has been seen, got recommendation to go after maybe a Kennedy Cup or something to go to the DDSL, gets into a DDSL club, gets the break, does 3 or 4 clubs in England, gets signed by maybe a Leicester or a Sheffield or whoever, gets in, is a YTS, gets out of that, gets a 1-year contract, is now 19, is sent on loan to Lincoln.
That's it, yeah.
You know, he does 6 months at Lincoln, maybe gets a knock. Lincoln change managers don't like him. All of a sudden, he's like, I'm gone. So I actually don't feel sorry for them.
It can hammer the enthusiasm out of you, can't it? It can bait the enthusiasm out of you.
That was a very tough journey.
Like, it very nearly happened with Sean Maguire. Like, because when Sean came back from West Ham, Stephen signed him at Dundalk, and he couldn't get a break. I remember going to the FAI Cup final one year, and I met Sean in his suit because he hadn't made the match day squad. Like, Stephen hadn't picked him in the whatever it was you were allowed to name for the day, that's 18 hard, or 20. And I came away from that game, and I rang him the following week and says, "Listen, do you want to come down to me at Wexford, kid? You need an arm around the shoulder. You need somebody who thinks the sun shines out of your arse." And he was on for it, and we were pretty much done. He played a practice match for me, for Wexford Youths, where like the front three was Danny Furlong, Rox Keenan, and Sean Maguire. Such a mix of personalities, like,
not bad,
but they were brilliant. They were obviously they were brilliant. I think he scored like 4 or 5 or something like that. And like Rox and Danny were looking at me going, "This is ridiculous. Like, this is going to happen, is it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I think it is." And then he rings me and he says, "Listen, Shane, I'm after having a phone call from John Caulfield down in Cork, and I think Caulfield offered him a pay-as-you-play contract or something ridiculous like." And I was kind of going, "Oh, Sean, are you sure? Like, this is kind of maybe out of the frying pan into the fire now, in terms of you're just going from one place where you're not getting games to another place where you're not getting games."
And we're Cork at the time, Premier.
They were right up around the top. Listen, all I can say is thank God he didn't fucking listen to me, because he goes to Cork and the rest is history. He ends up having probably the greatest individual season in League of Ireland history in the last 20, 30 years. Like, that, that season he had, and then the half season he had the following year before the move across the water, and look, he gets a move to Preston, and he's made up for life. Now, it probably still didn't go, the rest of his career probably still didn't go as well as he maybe thought it was at one stage, but he's pretty much, I would think, financially secure for life. I sat in this, like, sound like an absolute sap here, but like, I remember sitting in the Aviva the night he came on, like, and like, I was practically in tears, like, when you work with a young player like that for a few, I'd go, "Mate, he's senior international debut,"
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. Like these different careers. Like, do you boys know? Do you know Peter Shaw? Do you know Des Shaw? No.
Oh yeah, Des from Carlow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know Des' brother, Peter Shaw. No, Peter
I
Shaw.
coached Des at soccer. Des is a good soccer player. Vervail. But anyway, Peter Shaw. Go on.
So Peter Shaw is a Carlow man, right?
Yeah.
Would have hurled for Carlow underage the whole way up along. Living up in Dublin now, he's the rugby coordinator for Terranure at the moment. Absolute top fella, right? But here's him at, right? So Kennedy Cup, I had us at Kennedy Cup level. He wasn't involved. I don't know had he ever even played football at that stage, to be honest with you. He played for Paulstown, did he?
Yeah, would have.
Because he was playing the Kilkenny League, obviously.
One,
So I went to a Paulstown match at under 14 level, right? Club match, just going around the games, trying to find, rough diamonds like we've described earlier on, right? So I went to this Paulstown match, and here's this fella playing centre midfield, and I'm going, holy shit, this lad's serious, like. So I went to, no, it wasn't Paulstown. Who does Dennis Hines? Do you remember? Was it? Bridge. That's who he was playing for. And I went to Dennis Hines, and I said, what's the story with your man? And he says, yeah, he's only after joining this year, like. He says, I don't think he played soccer until now, but he's a good all-round sport athlete, kind of sports fella, So I said, listen, can I get him in for a bit of training with our Kilkenny representative squad? Like, he said, yeah, no bother. So he came in anyway. He was absolutely brilliant. We threw him straight into the team. We ended up we were beaten in an All-Ireland final on penalties that year, right? We went all the way to our All-Ireland final. He was centre mid in the All-Ireland final, marking Keelan Dillon, who was the Irish international number 10 at the time. And he destroyed Keelan Dillon, right? And he played a regional centre match. He was probably only playing soccer 6 months at this stage. Honestly, only playing soccer 6 months, I'd say. And he went to a regional centre match in the Watershed in Kilkenny, right? And he was brilliant, absolutely brilliant in the match, right? And I'm driving out of the match, and I got a phone call. Answered a fella called Anthony O'Gorman, who was chief scout for Aston Villa at the time, who would have been the main man involved in Mikey going across. And he says to me, Shane, who's the number 8? I says, I know. I says, there's a fella called Peter Shaw. He says, where's he after coming out of? I give him the backstory, only kicking soccer a while and the whole lot. He says, listen, Mikey's due over with us in 2 weeks' time. Can you send that boy across as well? And I said, yeah, no bother. I'll ring the mother there and see what the crack is. And I hung up the phone. And when I hung up the phone, I had a missed call from Niall Harrison, the Irish international manager. Yeah. And I rang Niall Harrison back. Well, Niall, how are you? He says, well, Shane. He says, you were in the Watershed there. I think I saw you, did I? And I says, yeah. He says, what the fuck is the number 8? Yeah. And I says, Christ. Fella called Peter Shaw. Shane, we have Irish international assessments at the end of the month. Can you make sure he's up? Like, he literally went from never having kicked the ball to, on the back of probably one really strong performance, he went across the water to Villa a couple of times. That's where the downfall started. He actually got an injury on one of the trips he went across. He got a knee injury that never ever really he was finished like this. He was 14 when this all happened, and he was finished playing soccer by 16. Like, that's how short-lived the career was, like, pretty much. But like, and this that's what I'm saying. This is a Carlow man. Like, if this injury hadn't happened, God knows what kind of conversation we'd be having around Peter Shaw now. Oh, just an absolute beast. Like, I don't know how you'd describe him. Kind of Toure almost, or something like that. I'm just trying to think of an athlete who just bounds around the field. But yeah, look, things could have, been so different for him now. Listen,
Anthony Slad.
No. He retired from it a good while back there. So gent. He did, yeah, absolutely, gent. Absolutely.
Wasn't the network? I would have spoke to Anthony a good bit. I would have spoke to Martin from more for the Birmingham Scout as well a good bit down through the years. Like, wasn't the networking crazy?
Billy Constantine. No, Billy, no.
Constantine, yeah.
Newcastle,
yeah. Wasn't the networking? I was only thinking this. The networking at that time was nuts. Like, when you were kind of the academy setup, you knew everyone. You knew international manager, you knew the regional manager, you had a development officer, and you knew 99% of the scouts in the area.
Yeah.
I don't know if that network the same, or has that changed?
No, it's changed completely. Again, because and listen, lads don't go across on trials now because they're not owned by the local junior club. They're owned by a League of Ireland team who know how to do things properly. Don't let lads just skip off across the water on these trials that you know very little about. But like, it was mad back then. Like, the one thing I twigged very early, Podge, was like, a lot of these boys were getting paid per match they go to. So what a lot of these boys were doing was they developed their network of contacts, like me and you and whoever else they had in all they'd know counties. And, they'd know a big match was coming up. The next thing, they'll ring me and they'll say, well, how did your match go today? And you'll give them the score and who played well or did anybody stand out? And what you know, they're on the other end filling out the match reports if they've been at the match report so they can submit it to get their few quid. So you were completely kind of in control of the players' destinies. Like, you know what I mean? You can say, if a fella that you think is very, very good and you think could be good enough to go on trial, if he's had a stinker, you don't need to tell him he had a stinker. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can say, I'll tell you. You know, they throw Andy Hickey was another one we had at the time who went forward and back to Villa at the same time as Mikey and Petey Shaw and that. You know, like, if I think Andy Hickey's on the verge of a trial or that, if the scout hasn't attended the game, I'll just tell him Andy Hickey was outstanding today and there's another tick beside Andy Hickey and,
That's the way it works now, isn't it?
But that was a network back then, though. That it was raw, like unedited. There was no VEOs, there was no huddle systems, like there was no pros on. It was just networking only.
100%. And you remember the Kendy Cup back then? It was black with scouts. Like,
I'll never forget going to one of the hotels and like, there'd be like a bowl of business cards, just all scouts cards, just in the bowl. The week of Kendy Cup. Yeah, pulled out Celtic. Forest, like it's nuts. Like,
were you down at this year's? No,
I didn't stir down to it.
Like, it's a dead duck. Like,
completely different.
Sure, it is. Like, if you think so, it's under 14. And League of Ireland starts at under 14. Yes, which means it's not the best players in the country anymore. No, best players in the country.
I've seen a couple of the games online, Shane. I was like,
unfortunately, it's like, to me, it's an like, I don't know what the reasons behind it are, but I just cannot wrap my head around why they don't just move Kendy Cup to under 13. Yeah, Kendy Cup's under 13. You have all the best players in the country again, and now they move into the League of Ireland after the Kendy Cup at
Makes
under 14
sense,
level. I think the only logical reason I could be given around it, you know what the only and I hadn't thought about this, but surely there must be ways around it. The only logical reason I could give was the Kendy Cup is held in June. If you're under 13, you're still in primary school, so your school year hasn't finished yet. Whereas at under 14, you're in secondary school, so you're not in school in June. You get your holidays a month earlier.
Right. It used to be 13s though, Shane. Yeah. My first few, we had a couple in 6th class and had to take the week off school.
Yeah.
My first couple.
Exactly. They'd work around that.
The last one I done was the one before the 14s League of Ireland.
Yeah.
And we came 4th.
Yeah.
And I just knew that I walked out that day. I said I won't be back down here as a coach. I just know it's a complete diluted product.
I'd imagine.
And it's a shame.
Like, for something that you were going down and watching Troy Parrott, watching Evan Ferguson, watching
Anthony
Jack Byrne,
Stokes.
watching Anthony Stokes, watching all these fellas and knowing, like, it's mad that you knew who the stars were before you landed down there because you'd heard all the talk around the place. None of them boys are at the Kendy Cup anymore because they've all signed for League of Ireland team already. You know, so it's unfortunate.
It's a fair move for Ferguson, isn't it, to Roma?
By God, it is, and he's hit the ground running too.
He scored in the second game. He scored there as well.
Yeah, he's hit the ground running. Look, it could be a brilliant move from that.
He just needs to play it, doesn't he?
That's it. 100%.
Yeah, he hasn't played in 2 years really, but isn't he playing injuries? I know West Ham signed him, officially signed him, did they?
I don't think West Ham should have signed him. I don't think he was right, lads.
Yeah.
I don't think he was fully there. Like,
it was a good move from Dropatch.
Those glimpses at West Ham are thinking, even international games, 2 rounds ago, I was thinking, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
2 little steps. But I just,
if it works out from over there, they're a massive club.
Huge.
They're colossal club. Top of fan base.
Mourinho was managing them. Wasn't he there for a while?
Mourinho's over them, yeah. He won a European Cup with them.
Ranieri is there now, is he? Is that who signed him?
No, it's Gasparini. Is it? Am I pronouncing that right?
Yeah.
He's the lad who was over at Atlanta. Remember Atlanta did really well.
Yeah.
With, I'm looking at him going, remember your man Lukeman? Solid useless at Everton and Fulham. Your man Gasparini turned him into an absolute superstar at Atlanta. If you can do the same with Evan.
Atlanta won the European League, did it?
Europa League, did they?
Yeah.
No.
I'm trying to think.
No, Spurs won the Europa League.
Not this year.
Oh. But they are was it Roma and Lazio? It's 2 clubs in Rome.
Yeah. Like 2 clubs in the one pitch, isn't it?
No, they don't share.
Oh, the Milan's share are right. I was in the San Siro before, actually.
In the San Siro myself.
Where you?
Concrete jungle.
Serious spot, isn't it?
It's concrete jungle, though.
Or
stadium itself, I was actually disappointed in it.
Yeah, it's more the history around it. And
Hard please,
I wasn't there for a game.
No, not right now, to be fair. No, mine was just a stadium tour. Yeah.
But when I came up over the tunnel, I was excited going through it. When you come up over the tunnel to go onto the stands, they were laying down the floor for a concert. So maybe I couldn't see the pitch right.
Yeah. Might feel like a stadium.
Maybe that upset me a little bit.
Yeah. I was always
Did you go to the concert?
No, I didn't.
Like I was a big Milan fan as well. Like, you remember when Serie A was the league to watch? Like when
Monday night,
Monday
night in bed,
unbelievable. And Milan was always
that music.
Was always my team.
Juventus was me.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah, Juventus.
Well, I was Inter when Ronaldo
Were ya?
signed for Inter. I was like, lights out paradise. He was just a phenom. He's the greatest. He could have been the greatest. Maradona's the greatest soccer player ever. Brazilian Ronaldo.
Made that
was just
one all
like,
day now.
yeah.
They're turning the corner all the old Italian football, aren't they? They are turning the corner, like, because they went
Yeah.
from a really negative space, like, to they're kind of okay now. Like, if you mention Italian soccer, again, 10 years ago, it's like, match fixing, bugs, all that.
Yeah.
Still very few. Like, how many of the world's top 20 players are in Italy? Very few, if any.
Sure, Paris Saint-Germain coached them in the final, in the Champions League. It was over nearly half time.
That
Inter
was
Milan.
that was sensational what PSG did.
Yeah, but your man is a genius, I think.
Imagine, right? You go into PSG. What's the template here to try and turn these into a successful team? I know what I need to do.
Yeah.
I need to get rid of Mbappe, Messi, and Neymar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's
But as good as they are on the ball, Shane, they're brutal off it. You know, that was
bigger than that,
Some
Papa.
side watch.
I know it's bigger than that, but it's a major
it's-
factor in the patch.
He
It's a
went in
major
there
factor.
and he just put hard work as the foundation and jump
Yeah, but
on,
that's what I'm
touch your
saying.
lollipop now or go away.
Yeah, but they didn't work. They don't work hard off the ball.
I used to love him
Yeah.
as a player as well, though. Like,
He was brilliant.
They say
Yeah.
a good manager,
Yeah.
their team is in their likeness.
Yeah.
And PSG are absolutely in his likeness. Now,
Yeah.
remember him as a player. By God, he worked and
So
worked
it's like
and worked.
it's like
Simeone,
Guardiola. I
Yeah.
used to love him for Barcelona. He was
Yeah.
nearly the first six you want to call him.
Yeah.
He was brilliant,
Brilliant. Yeah,
brilliant footballer, and he just lives and breathes it as well. You know,
So your
absolutely.
man Atletico is the same, sure.
Simeone.
Big time.
Very same.
Yeah.
It's like looking at Simeone playing.
Yeah.
I thought he lost his marbles when he signed Conor Gallagher, though. I must say that.
He squeezed it over more or less.
He's done all
Yeah.
right, yeah. He's playing right back, I think.
Oh, yeah, back to Leave Ireland.
Yeah,
You were,
Tangents.
doing
you were
it. Can't
talking
be
about
saying.
you were talking about Shell signing that player and Duffer.
Yeah.
What's your take on that whole situation?
Asher, listen, you're not in trying to apply logic to it because he's just not a logical creature. Like, do you know what I mean? He's not, though. He's
I call him- what did
one
I
in a
call him?
million. Like, he is a
Lunatic.
completely different animal. He's
He
a
is, yeah.
completely different animal for two reasons. One, like, just his mentality is just mad. Like, he's just
Yeah.
off the wall. Like, I think some people think he was playing a role at times, or purposely being kind of controversial. He's not.
That's
He
him.
just there's just no filter.
Yeah,
What's in
that's
his
him.
head immediately comes out of his mouth, and he doesn't worry about what the repercussions are going to be. And
Yeah.
that was brilliant for the league, Podge. It was absolutely
Oh,
brilliant for the
fantastic.
league.
Yeah.
Do you know, I went off and did my UEFA Pro license, and one of our modules on our UEFA Pro license was how to handle the media. And basically, you were taught how to talk in front of a camera for 10 minutes without actually saying anything. Do you know what I mean? Like, you were
Yeah.
taught how to just blabbers, how to say
Yeah.
nothingness for 10 minutes
Yeah.
so that you didn't say anything controversial. Like, it
It's
was
not
really well
important.
done now. They role played it. Like, we had Jermaine Chamberlain in from Sky Sports.
Oh, go away.
He sticks a mic in front of you and you role play
Go
it
away.
out and all that kind of crack. It was really, really in Nyon in Switzerland,
Brilliant.
in UEFA headquarters. That's where we done that module.
Brilliant.
But you're literally taught how to say nothing. And this man couldn't be further from saying nothing if you tried,
Yeah.
Duffer. Like, he
Oh, he's-
just every single interview he did seemed to cause national headlines.
Yeah.
And that was brilliant for the league, but it wasn't pre-planned. It was just him being him.
Yeah.
So I think one, he's off the wall, and that certainly helped. And then two, the financial security put him on a different planet to
Yeah.
everybody else. He could behave like sometimes.
He didn't need this.
Exactly. Yeah. Sometimes I would say what needs to be said to, keep the board happy or to keep my job or that kind of stuff. Like, he didn't need to keep his job. He was
Yeah.
big. Essentially, he was bigger than the club. Like, do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? He's bigger than the league, arguably, you could say.
It was a super achievement, though, winning it, wasn't it?
Absolutely. I think, again, right up there as one of the
Massive.
most impressive achievements in the Premier Division in a long
Yeah.
time. Like, I would have said, I would have been massively impressed with a fourth place finish for him going
Yeah.
into that season.
Yeah.
He really, what he achieved. But I do think that management style, it is very Mourinho-like, which does lead to
It is,
quick
yeah.
spikes, quick decline. I don't think that's...
Oh, really?
I
A
don't
sustainable approach?
think
Look
that.
at-
I think winning is sustainable with that approach, so long as you keep moving.
Gotcha.
I don't think long term. Like, I don't think he could. I never saw him doing what Brad's is after managing to do at Shamrock Rovers, building a
Unbelievable.
dynasty.
Yeah.
Like, I think when you're that intense
Yeah.
and that all in, I
But sure,
think,
Mourinho, is 4 years his longest stint at a club?
yeah, which like
It-
wouldn't
three
you
to 4
know,
years
yeah,
maximum.
that
Then he moves on. I
doesn't-
know he did Chelsea twice.
Yeah.
But he didn't do it. You know, he's
Now, to be fair, like when I say that I don't even mean that as an insult. Like, I don't
No,
think
it's not an
I don't
insult.
think Duff could have done what Bradley did, but I don't think Bradley could have done what Duff did. Do you know what I mean? It was different circumstances, different clubs. Duff and Shells were a match made in
what's
heaven.
what's
Absolutely.
next for him, Shane? Will he go League of Ireland?
Again, there's just no point in applying logic. Like where you think strategically, where for another person, what will they do next? There's no point thinking strategically with him. He'll do something. You can be sure that off the wall that none of us expected.
Finn Harps.
God, you just don't know him.
He doesn't have to do anything either, doesn't he? Now?
Yeah.
Like he's made.
Yeah, but exactly. I think because he's not chasing greatness.
Yeah.
He doesn't need,
Is there a place
Cork's
in Irish international setup?
He was there, wasn't he? He was there under Kenny, wasn't he?
He was there under Kenny, yeah. He was there under Kenny initially.
Rosie, did it?
No. He walked. He came out. But look, that's him. Rightly or wrongly, that's him. He was at Celtic. He decided, no, this is not for me anymore. He was with Ireland. Nope, this is not for me anymore.
Yeah.
He was at Shells. Nope, this is not for me anymore. He's very much his own man.
There's nothing in between, though. It's either a flat yes or a flat no, and that's it.
But what I like about him is there's plenty have gone into that setup in the FAI that didn't like it but hung around for the paycheck.
Yeah.
I like
he
that
never
about him.
Needs
He's like,
or has to do that,
yeah. As you said, I'm not here for one. I'm here to progress things, and I don't like the way you're progressing things, so you don't need me.
And it doesn't matter what level he's operating at. Sure, he was Shamrock Rovers under 15 manager for a while, and he had them training at 6:30 in the morning.
He did. He had before school and everything.
He's just all in. It doesn't matter what level he's at. He's just
He's probably the reason for the success of the 15s National League. He's probably the reason for the success of that.
Big part of it, yeah. A big part of it.
Because he, what Rollstone was, what you hear coming over the schedules of players, other clubs, not only in Dublin, your Corks, your Wexford, Galway, Waterford, even CK a little bit, are like, we need to, this isn't just a thing now where we have a 15s team together. Like, we're going to have to embed this in the community now and get this up and running properly.
Take it to a different level altogether.
And I think that's because of him, at that, especially at that level. What he done with that.
He said he just doesn't do things by halves. When when he gets involved in something, it's all in.
Yeah.
What a player!
Oh my God! Do you remember, just when you think
for
back
Ireland
to
and Chelsea, Fulham, he was brilliant. Yeah.
When you think back to his performances, that
was his peak, wasn't it?
That was his peak. That was his peak. Absolutely, he was ridiculous. He was literally one of the most exciting young players on the planet.
He was nearly always the first team in the Chelsea team sheet as well. To be fair to him,
yeah, sure. Mourinho loved him.
Ranieri before him,
he'd do it going both ways. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. He was hard working.
Yeah, he'd do it going both ways. And some people said that Mourinho coached the creativity out of him. I don't think so. I think Mourinho just taught him how to go backwards as well. I think he was still pretty much as effective going forward. I wouldn't agree with that
statement, yeah. No, he's...
Do you know?
I think he gave him a pattern.
Yeah.
Rather than... I think he gave him that pattern to play. Play here, but you also have to do this here.
Yeah.
I think he gave him that kind of pattern.
And you know what people forget about him as well is I think people automatically think of him breaking through as a brilliant young player at Blackburn and then the success that he had at Chelsea. He had a brilliant stint at Fulham, lads.
Brilliant at Fulham. Just as I said, yeah.
Brilliant stint at Fulham.
He Juventus by himself in the second leg of the semi-final at UEFA Cup, didn't he? He was unbelievable.
Just the Newcastle one didn't work out for him. That was the one that unfortunately didn't. And I would love to see him because if he had gone well there, they would have took to him massively, wouldn't they?
Was that Ashley's spell? Was that Ashley ownership?
Yeah, they had a couple of dodgy ones at the time. Michael Owen went there and didn't work out for him.
He was wrong off the field before, so that means with Mike Ashley, So
I don't think it was.
So Michael Owen went there must be the biggest regret of his life. What did he do here?
Oh yeah, no, killed him.
Then he went to one of League United, didn't he? After, or who did he go after? Newcastle.
Did I tell you that one? The Newcastle player I was offered when we did the live show, no. Here's a mad one, right? There's a fella.
Love these ones.
My mind is gone blank. Sir Liam Carroll. Liam Carroll would be one of the biggest agents in the League of Ireland at the moment. He'd have a lot of the top players in the league, so he would. And Liam rings me one day. I was Galway manager. Liam rings me one day. Shane, how you fix that 9? And I said, yeah, could do it one more in at 9, all right, Liam. So I have one for you. And I said, well, now this is a bit off the wall, he says, and but there's reasons for it. I said, go on. Lamanu Lua Lua.
No way.
I said, what? He says, Lamanu Lua Lua. And I said, Liam, what are we talking about here? How is this a conversation? How are we having this conversation, right? So he says, look, he's after dropping down the levels a little bit in the last couple of years, but he's after working really hard in the off season. He's got himself back fit, and he needs somewhere that he can use as a platform and a springboard to come back. I said, and why is it Galway? Like why are you ringing me? The answer was he had some new religion, right? He was taken up some new religion, right? And Galway, there was a mosque or a temple or something like this in Galway, was one of the only temples of that kind in Ireland. So Galway was where they were looking at trying to position him so that he could still follow this religion that he was after taking up. I swear to God. I swear to
God.
Some signing.
Yeah, the man who Loa. Now, we got talking about money and there was a big gap between what we could offer and what Le Manu was looking for.
The Pompey, right? Did he go to Pompey? Portsmouth?
He was definitely, or was that? I used to get himself and Amiobi mixed up. No, he was. I think he was at them, yeah. I think he was, but yeah, you get some mad ones thrown at you. Like, should we the fella at Cobh, lads? Claudio Osario, right? Claudio Osario
sounds great.
I know, doesn't he? He sounds like he can't be a bad player. Like Claudio Osario at 14 or 15 years of age, he was at Reading, right? And at 14 or 15 years of age, Man City offered 1.5 million for him, right? He was one of the top teenagers in the whole of Britain. And Reading turned it down. And no, he stayed at Reading and the whole lot. So I get this phone call from Noel Hunt. They're looking to get Claudio Osario out on loan, and they're looking at potentially League of Ireland and the whole lot. And I did my background checking him. I was like, what the hell? Like, this player, City tried to sign him 1.5 million and he wants to, and Reading were willing to pay the wage. See, we do you know Paddy Carey, no? Do you know Paddy down in Waterford?
Sounds familiar,
so
yeah.
Paddy was best friends with Hunty, and Paddy would have been my assistant manager at Wexford and the whole lot. So that was kind of the link on it and the whole lot. And lads, this guy genuinely he was an England international at 15, 16s, the whole lot. Next big thing, came to Cobh Ramblers in the League of Ireland First Division, couldn't get in the start. Go done. And I think he's finished now. Like that's a year and a half ago.
Fancy himself, or was it just like he just didn't have it?
He was. I'd say he was about 7 stone weight. So he was. I'd say he hadn't grown an inch from the time he was 15. He was 20 now, let's say thereabouts. And still looked like in your five-a-sides, deadly.
Top class.
Top class, but just hadn't developed, I suppose, into a proper
Shame,
schooled all-round footballer. That's just...
What about your man? I'll give you this one. Karamboko Dembele.
Oh, yeah. Celtic.
What about him?
That's been practicing at home, will you, Podge?
On the Scottish under-17 international at 13 years of age. Made his Celtic debut at 14 years of age.
It's now the younger brother is lighting it up.
And now he's at Notts County.
Is it?
Just never physically developed.
Yeah. Did he come into the league? He was meant to come into the league at one stage.
Go away.
I think we did that briefly. Had Dundalk. Sorry, when I was at Dundalk, we had chats around potentially him coming across.
Really?
Jim Magilton was at Dundalk, and he had a contact with somebody at Celtic at the time, and it was seriously bouncing on. But you get that. That's what I'm saying. Go way back, lads. Do you remember Freddie Adu?
Just about to say the first one. Freddie Adu.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus.
Christopher Samba. Championship manager football 98. Unbelievable. Never seen him kick a ball in real life. Actually, he never Blackburn, but anyway.
He did centre half.
Did he?
Yeah.
Like the different routes it goes for these lads, it's just mad. Like, isn't
but
it?
Dembele's brother's lining it up now, is he?
Yeah.
And is he at Celtic as well?
Yeah,
right, okay.
Yeah. Supposed to be doing very well and doing the right structure, yeah.
Simmons. I seen Simmons play up in the St. Kevin's Boys tournament for Barcelona. Who's he at? He was a PSG there for a while. Xavi Simmons?
Oh, yeah.
I'd never seen a young lad
Dutch
play
guy.
a game. Like, you want to see him at 12 or 13 years of age, man.
Really?
Wow.
Class act.
The only other one I've seen a chap play in the 6. I actually watched the game with you, I think.
Well.
DDSL. Little small lad in the 6. And you turn around and says to me, Podge, he's the closest thing to Busquets I've ever seen.
Come on.
I think he actually had dwarfism.
For DDSL. Jeez, who was it?
I can't think of his name. I'll check the programme when I go home. Probably around 08 or 09. He was very good.
Really, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? The one that impressed me, I remember going to some of the Irish underage games, and when you talk about a small fella in the 6, Joe Hodge.
Yeah.
Who won City Academy Player of the
Year.
Again, things don't seem to have kicked on for him. He's after getting a move again, I think, isn't he? He's gone somewhere. He's gone
it shows you how hard it is, though,
Huddersfield, is it? Yeah.
Isn't it?
Listen, probably, like, that's why I'm so happy the rules have changed around them not being able to go over now till they're over 18.
Yeah.
Like, it was so unethical what we were allowing to happen. Like, lads going over there at 16 years of age and everybody trying to hide the fact that 1% of them, 1% of them make it. And by making it, I mean have a professional career. So that includes the fellas who at 16 years of age signed for Liverpool and 4 or 5 years later are playing for Cheltenham Town in League 2. Like, that's making it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You've made it when you've done that. That sounds like failure, but you're the success story even when you make that. Like, so I do think the sticking around now till they're over 18 just gives them such a better chance.
They're more mature, more of a man, ain't they?
100%.
Develop better as well, obviously.
100%, yeah.
And to make our product better here.
Oh, listen, this is the big thing. Like, we're pretty much in an era now where pretty much every player, when you go to watch an Irish international match, every player you see on the pitch will have played in the League of Ireland.
At some stage,
like that's where we're going now.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
because
a really good thing, though,
where else could they have played at 17?
Yeah, but it's guys who were concrete in League of Ireland. It's not your Fahis or your Hoolahans who had a stint and just came back and went over, came back. You know, yo. It's lads who probably had a couple of seasons at either a first division or a Premier Division club who played 40 plus games and then went.
Yeah.
And there's a quite big difference between that and the guy who, played. Come on, Matt Luke Sendel played 10 games before I get back over in England. No, these lads would.
And it's a good hook to those that
100%.
that aren't League of Ireland minded yet. It is a good hook to get them in. Like I need to free up a Friday night fairly shortly now before my young lad kills me. In fact, I might even see how Pat's going. I might even try and get to a European game. So naturally enough, my young lad has me drove solid demented about getting to a Pat's game before Mason Mealy moves to Spurs.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
We're big Spurs fans, me and young lad, and here's a fellow signing for Spurs, playing for. I know, jeez. I swore blind before I had a child that I wouldn't do it to them, and somehow I did it to them.
Yeah. Right, okay.
We all do, don't we? But
what are they going to do, manager? Are you happy with him? Happy to do manager?
Yeah. I'd like to think it could work out well. Is the manager our problem though, or is it the man above him? Like that's
it's always the question with Spurs, isn't it?
You know, if
I think I like him. I like Dange.
Yeah, like things were very positive sounding there for a while. Looked like we were getting Morgan Gibbs-White. That seems to have fallen by the wayside.
He signed a long contract.
Talks of Joe Polina. I absolutely adore him. He would be exactly what Spurs need. Somebody who kicks lads and just gets stuck in.
That's the lad played with Fulham.
Yeah,
he's
gone to Bayern.
He went to Bayern, didn't he?
Yeah, hasn't really established himself fully at Bayern.
Nothing.
So Spurs are supposed to be now. He would be exactly what
He
Spurs.
signed for
Bayern.
I think, Shane, not under company. He was under the manager before that.
Yeah, that would make
company
sense.
Obviously doesn't fancy him.
Jeez, I thought he was brilliant.
He was linked with Liverpool as well. Yeah, he's kicks lads, isn't he?
Yeah,
he'd be perfect for Spurs. That's what Ange's missing.
He's one I'd love now. He is one I'd love.
Because the way he played, I was even talking to lads about the soccer, and the way Ange played so open, he probably could do with 2 in there.
Yeah.
So have the attitude that we have the 6 on attack and 4 in defence, but 2 of the 4 are holding midfielders.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
As opposed to Ange's tactics of last man back.
Yeah, last man back. Yeah. You know.
Remember they played a game against Chelsea and they were top of the league at
two players sent off and we still said last man back.
Yeah. Is he blind or what?
Yeah. Successful man though, lads. Say what you want about him. The man wins trophies.
Top class at Celtic, wasn't he?
Unbelievable.
So I think he went into Celtic and he kept all the original staff, did he? Apart from his assistant manager.
Was it?
And just changed it. I think he did, I think most of the backroom staff kept them all and just said,
I was so sorry.
You need to change your attitude. We're the problem, not the players.
Yeah.
And he won everything with them, really.
Yeah.
He's really good. He brought in his assistant manager. That was it, I think. Just him and the assistant manager.
Brilliant.
I think there's another job on him.
There is. Yeah. No,
big job on him.
Yeah.
He'll get a job. He'll get like a relegation candidate around March. And he'll say,
Man United.
Try to keep him up.
Could be. I watch the pre-season games. I hate pre-season football because fans are idiots.
They're not real, aren't they?
And they're blind. You know you're going to win the league. Lads, you know you're rubbish. Like, they're rubbish. It's impossible. The lads are like, oh, wow. Look at Cunha going back 20 yards to throw a ball. What?
Yeah,
I don't get it. Yeah, we're not talking about that anyway. Come here. What's your thoughts on third tier League of Ireland?
Yeah, obviously I managed in the bloody thing way back, so I did. So, I would definitely like to see it come back. Like, I don't know I don't think I would have got an opportunity to manage in the League of Ireland if the third tier hadn't existed, because I was probably not just going to get a chance to jump straight in at that level, and FC Carlow operated as the bridge for me. So I'd love to see, even from a managerial perspective, more clubs means more coaches and more managers are needed, more opportunity for people to progress up through the game. Very same thing applies to the players. More clubs, more opportunities for players to come in and try and progress up along through the ranks. It's going to be interesting to see who's in it. I think in a lot of cases, the wrong teams are going to end up in it.
What do you mean by that, Shane? As in junior clubs?
Yeah, look, I probably going a little bit controversial. Like, you look at our own situation. You look at, currently what is Carlow Kilkenny?
Yeah.
I would assume Carlow Kilkenny are going to end up in it. and hopefully it'll go very well for them. But Carlow Kilkenny is still the old top-down approach. They have a club at the top, they have a League of Ireland club at underage. But how can you justify them getting in over somebody like Evergreen? Like to me, Evergreen is far better kind of set up to go at League of Ireland. I think the same's going to apply in Kildare.
First of all, they're a team, aren't they? Straight away.
Yeah, they're an entire,
they're together.
An entire entity. They're something that's existed for a long time with massive financial
Just stop
backing.
there.
Yeah.
They're established.
Yeah.
So as a club, Evergreen as a club, Newbridge Town as a club,
well, that's the other one I was going to point at.
Have climbed 10,000 hurdles.
Yeah.
And there's a problem that can't be fixed. Carlow Kilkenny have a fantastic committee, a fantastic idea, and great principles, and all the research, all like their slogans and all that, but they've not established themselves in any way, shape.
And don't get me wrong, like I really, really hope it works. Like I'm listen, my young lad is 10 years of age. He's playing plenty of football. If he's a decent footballer at 13 years of age, I'm probably going knocking on Carlow Kilkenny's door and saying, listen, you have a look at him there and see if there's a chance for him to have a crack at progressing up along. I'm just purely looking at it from a structural point of view. Like the amount of members Evergreen have at the moment is phenomenal.
Huge,
2 full-size Astro pitches. Where would you get in the country?
And they're still developing.
Where would you get in the country? Unbelievable. Yes. One of them flood lit.
So impressive. It's as impressive as you walk outside the League of Ireland.
Yeah. Like from massive financial backers in
the pavilion
tax
there
assist or whatever they're called. It's a League of Ireland club in
there,
every way. Yeah. Other than I don't know. I don't think they've even sought to go into it, have they?
No, I don't. I didn't hear it.
The best of my knowledge. Whereas in Kildare, there is going to be aggro there because I think Newbridge have an equally strong probably proposition, but look like they're potentially going to miss out to Club Kildare.
Newbridge have a bit of history though as well. Like Newbridge were the base for Kildare County really as well, weren't they?
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Story, yeah.
So Newbridge probably should get it over Club Kildare, but they won't, but they should. But the argument I'd have for CK is, how do they build if they don't get the opportunity?
Yep.
But then, to get the opportunity, you need a home.
Yeah.
And you can't be a nomad. Yeah. And you can't piggyback. And you know as well as anyone been involved with FC Carlow, you can't do
100%.
it. It's not sustainable. No. So they need to get the home.
100%. But and where do you get all your coaches from? Would be another question I'd have. Like, when you don't have a history, like who coaches all the Evergreen teams? All the ex-Evergreen players. There is no such thing as ex.
Yeah.
Carlow Kilkenny players.
No.
Yeah.
There hasn't been a generation of them come through and out the other side to come back in. Like you go up to Evergreen now at the moment, and your Packy Holdens is coaching them. Your Davy Mulcahy's are coaching. They're coaching the kids in Evergreen.
Yeah.
League of Ireland stalwarts. Yeah. Davy Mulcahy's, what did he win? 2-3 FAI Cups. Yeah. These are the people who are, and they're not looking for their 50 quid expenses at the end of the week or
it's the love of the club.
Whereas, and that's no fault of, it's not that Carlow Kilkenny are doing anything wrong. They just can't have that history. How can they? They're not around long enough to have that history. So there are challenges there. I'll tell you what it's going to have a knock-on effect on is, obviously based on the new pyramid structure, it's going to mean there's finally going to be relegation from League of Ireland First Division. That's going to make the First Division a very, very different proposition.
100%.
Because up until now, you could finish bottom and so what?
But it actually changed the link from the First Division to the Premier Division by putting in the third tier. Not only for relegation, but I think the First Division teams who have been middle of the road for years have to kind of make a decision, okay, we can't just stay here now.
And sure, here, listen, this is how the First Division operates at the moment, right? You start out the season with intentions of trying to get into the playoffs or be thereabouts. You spend, a decent budget trying to achieve that. And then halfway through the season, you have a look and see, is that still realistic? If that's still realistic, you plough on. If that's not realistic, you offload all the top earners, you cut back all your money, you finish last, and you keep the money to have a go at it again next year. You won't be able to do that. You won't be able to do that anymore. Now, if you get rid of all your top earners and you finish last, you're gone.
Yeah.
So it actually changes the whole dynamic within the First Division, like so it does.
I actually think, I think that the FAI should look at the FA's model, the way they have a pyramid. Because if you look at the third tier, they're going to split it into regions, right? Like, I think there should be a standalone third division.
Go on.
So if you have Premier, First Division, and then Second Division,
so nationally.
Yeah, nationally.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
And then regionalise
after down underneath that again.
So then when you come over your region, so whatever north and south, so them top 2 will go into the actual second division, which will be the third tier.
Yeah.
And then go from there. And I'd actually link that into the junior side of the game.
Yeah.
So if you have the likes of a Newark or an Evergreen or Hanover Harps when you're in your pomp, that you're constantly thereabouts in your junior league, guys, you have to go Leinster Senior. Yeah. You can't just stay here. Then Leinster Senior, you get successful out of that, whatever branch it is. You go into the Regional League of Ireland, then you go into the third tier League of Ireland, then you go into the first division, then Premier. Yeah. I think that model should be looked at.
It'll be brilliant. The challenge, I suppose, is facilities and financial backing.
Yeah.
Like I know Evergreen gave a couple of years in the Leinster Senior League, and
it's a long time ago.
Yeah, it is a long time ago. It's right. But they just found the costs ridiculous, and that was only travelling around Leinster. Like, do you know what I mean?
They're in a better place now to do that, aren't they?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Massively so.
Well, there is no doubt an Evergreen or and the Walk again. Use them as examples. Would 100% hold their own in Leinster Senior League.
I think so. Yeah.
In my opinion.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because we went well. I was managing Port Leinster Senior
League that's right,
for a few years there, and like we went very, very well. We were in let's call it the third division, which the amount of divisions there, third is still a very, very high one.
Yeah.
So it is, and I would say, our strongest 11, we would have been about on a par-ish thereabouts with the likes of an Evergreen, let's say.
Yeah,
thereabouts.
But like even at that level, you were at Port Leinster. You're 1 or 2 away from intermediate football, like.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I don't think intermediate football is quite the standard that it used to be in, is it?
No, it's only
exactly. It's not. Is it actually a higher standard?
It's actually at junior. Junior is for me is the pinnacle of it.
Yeah, 100%. Like with Port Laois was one of those teams. I suppose probably you'll see plenty of it in Carlow and Kilkenny as well. Like I was there for 3 years. I was kind of doing it alongside other, being involved in the Dundalk and still doing the Port Laois at the same time, kind of a thing on the side. And like with us, every year it was like halfway through the season, come Christmas time or come the end of November, we were in the bottom 3, and the next thing, the GA season finished up and all the boys came back. We finished one place outside promotion every year, and in my final year there, we actually won the big cup up there.
Hollycoff.
And like the team that we had out that day, like they were absolutely class, but you only had them for a half season.
Callahan playing, right? Callahan was on that, right?
Callahan's back with me now again. He's my football coach at JK Brackens.
Go away.
Yeah.
Is he playing a bit of rat? No.
I'm playing over 35s.
Is he that age,
Shane?
Yeah. I would never guessed he was that age.
Yeah.
What a soccer player he was.
He was Chris Mulhall, who would have been finished League of Ireland First Division top goal scorer on 1 or 2 occasions. And then you go back to our conversation about rough diamonds. Like there's a fella in Port Laois called Jason Murphy. I'm telling you, like this fella is absolutely unbelievable. But he won't so much as leave Port Laois. Never mind. Do you know what I mean? Like he wouldn't go from Port Laois to a Carlow club or a Kilkenny club. So he's definitely not going to the League of Ireland. Try as I might. I absolutely tried to get him to come to Cobh Ramblers. This fella is the ultimate street footballer. Like now, as a manager, you need to come up with a game plan where 10 people have duties, and you just say to Jason, "Do whatever you want, Jason," because he doesn't understand. He's no interest in following a role, or he doesn't understand his role. Or we used to always play a formation that we did some formation that ended up with 2 up front. And the 2 up front were Chris Mulhall and Jason Murphy. And Chris Mulhall knew the game inside out, and he would play the centre forward role. And then you just told Jason, just go, whatever, Jason.
You do you, Jay.
Do what you want, man.
The only problem was now one of them was madder than the other, so it was. It took every ounce of man management to try and keep the 2 of them on the tracks. I used to call them the 2 Balotellis.
Yeah. It's a big club though. We played them in a pre-season last year.
Hasn't gone well the last couple of years.
No, Pat Scully was over them. Young Davy was there.
That's right, yeah. I had Davy. Davy come on as a sub in that Polycup final, yeah.
Good player.
So he did, yeah. Oh, absolutely. I had Jimmy Darmody there, so I had.
Jimmy, did you have Jimmy there? What's Jimmy doing now? He's definitely in Australia or somewhere, is he?
Is it Canada?
Is he in Canada?
Who's that?
Somewhere.
Jimmy Darmody.
Oh, yeah. FC Carlow, Wexford Youths.
Lunatic.
I've had Jimmy at. Jimmy's like Jimmy is to me what Peter Crouch is to Harry Redknapp.
Yeah.
Everywhere I end up, Jimmy ends up.
Thorough Jimmy, was he?
Johnstown, yeah.
Nice lad. Spa.
Yeah.
They're not up to much at the moment. I think Port Laois played in your walk last week in the game, and Port Laois in the middle of the season and you walk. Without training, went back and they just said absolutely up to nothing. So young.
I think they've had 3 relegations.
Yeah, they ran them over. You walk ran them over.
Mark Ross has gone in there. You know Mark? Wexford. Yeah, Mark's gone in as new manager.
Mark,
in Portlaoise.
Community football development officer.
Yeah. He's
Gone
an
to
Portlaoise
Portlaoise.
manager. Yeah.
Mark was at CK for a while, I think, as well.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. He was. Yeah.
That's
He's
a
an older.
strange move.
Yeah.
There's definitely a few Bob there. Yeah, Shane
Yeah.
Keegan there. Pat Scully there. And now you have Mark Ross there. How do we miss out on that job, Papa?
I think I'm sure you won't mind me saying. Yeah, I think it came down to Mark Ross and Johnny the Dub. You know, Johnny.
Go away!
Johnny nearly ended up there.
Johnny's
as well,
gone into. I listen to the Kilkenny podcast. I love the 4 Ways. They're brilliant. But
brilliant.
Johnny's gone into Evergreen.
Has he gone back into
He's
Evergreen?
gone taking over the ladies set
Oh,
up in
has he?
Evergreen.
Yeah.
But seemingly he took. No, I don't know how true this is. But seemingly he took the. What's the club called there? Signed all the players in Kilkenny. Paddy Khan is playing for them.
Oh, Fort Rangers.
Seemingly he took the Ford job, and then gave it up about 2 days later. I went to Evergreen. I don't know, Johnny, can you confirm or deny that, please, if you listen?
Fight your corner, Johnny.
Yeah. If you were to change that about the League of Ireland, Shane, would you put a cap on salaries?
Would you put a cap on salaries? I don't know. Can you? Like what seems like a reasonable cap now might be a different cap. Like so when I was at Dundalk, we, along with Rovers, would have been the 2 highest paying clubs in the league. And I won't go into, obviously won't name names, but our highest paid player at Dundalk would have been on 1,800 a week. There are now 5-ish players there or thereabouts who are clearing 3k a week. Like, so that's a fair jump in a short enough period of time. And sure, the PFAI announced stats around the average wage there only a while ago, and like the average, and rightly so. Like the PFAI, to be fair, fought for a minimum wage, and I think that was a brilliant move. Like, because
genius.
We were getting away with murder, like, you know, like it was ridiculous. Young fella just mad for an opportunity, and he's come out of the youth team, and you're giving him fucking 50 quid a week, like kind of a thing, and expecting him to train full time. You know, the fact that there is proper, you know, minimum wage stuff in there and all that, but obviously that has helped push the average wage up, but so has the top end stuff. That's pushed it up as well. Now, you still get your mad deals. Like, obviously I was at Dundalk when the mad American Bill Hulsizer was there, and like some of the stuff that I think there's. I'm careful here because I think one of them is still actually possibly a court case. But like, we brought across a fella called Wilfred Zahibo. Right now, Zahibo had made the MLS All-Star team about 2 years previous. He was named in the same MLS All-Star team as Zlatan Ibrahimovic was that year.
Oh, wow.
Right. And this was obviously, Bill was an American himself, so this was obviously Bill's way of, you know, wanting to show, you know, marquee signing and the whole lot. And as you would want to see the contract that man got. Oh my God. And he was fucking useless. Now, I don't think he was useless, he just didn't care. So therefore, if he didn't care, he was useless. Like, I picked him up at the airport, and the first question he wanted to know on the way back was, what are the girls like? This was, you know, his first question. What are the girls like in Dundalk? This was, but he had
started off, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
he was the fun.
I'm telling you, what are the girls like? What's the night?
So he would lay with that, where he is the manager.
I wasn't really the manager. Like, I was, if I'm nearly more chauffeur than anything at that stage. But he had, again, not going into the ins and outs, but it was one of the cleverest things I've seen in a contract. He had, like, he was paid this amount every week, but then he had all these bonuses, right? Now, he didn't get any of the bonuses because we were shite that year, right? But then he had, like, the last clause in the contract was, if my total earnings fall under, let's pull a figure out of the sky, 200k, right? If my total earnings fall under 200k, the club is liable to make up the gap between whatever I have earned and 200k in one lump sum at the end of the season.
So if he finished at 140,
he has
60k,
to get
straight to the account.
60k, like.
Nuts.
You know, but you get these mad ones.
I only hope and pray, Shane, that the League of Ireland doesn't go back to that.
Yeah, no.
It's not good for it, is it?
No.
100%.
Like, a lot of lads soldiered there for years to get the product where it is. Like, the rule been changed. Kids can't go over to the UK until they're 18. Like, all this is going in their favour. That's my only fear, you know.
Yeah.
That once the football stops, the guys who take it from there haven't changed their attitude.
Yeah. Because there's so much money now for European qualification, clubs are going to gamble on trying to qualify for Europe.
Yeah.
You know, and there is a little bit of a question mark there. Like, I would say straight away this year, lads, Shelbourne and Pats at the moment have a lot of work to do to qualify for Europe.
Massive.
And I would imagine both teams' budgets at the start of the year were based on them qualifying.
Sure, Shells, after buying a couple of players the last few days, they were surely panic buys. Like.
They conceded 2 late goals, didn't they? Or was it?
They were well bet. They were well bet by Carabeg. But look, that was always going to be them losing to Carabeg. Or how they do in Europe this year is kind of less of a concern than the fact that they're potentially not going to be in Europe next year.
Yeah.
You know, that's the problem. Is budgeting for. Well, we will continuously have European football. You have probably 6 clubs at the start of the season budgeting to qualify for Europe. Only 4 to 6 can qualify, lads. So 2 of them, are going to have budgeted for something that doesn't happen. You know, so that's
a big hit, though, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
what's the financial gain, Shane? Say for a first round. So I say Pats there get to Europe. Is getting to Europe financial gain enough to strive to get there?
Sure, it's phenomenal. Like, and listen, the League of Ireland prize money has improved a bit over the last few years, but like you're still talking about, like, I think. You know, getting through one round in Europe is something like the equivalent of winning the League of Ireland for 10 straight years. Like,
wow.
You know, like it's absolutely ridiculous.
Seen the breakdown of Liverpool's. I know it's England and all that. But what the way they spend so much money. They got 180 million for winning the league.
Yeah.
Didn't win the Champions League, but they got 80 million or 85 million sterling for finishing top of the table.
Yeah. I know the European money is
Christ, there's some money in it.
Game changing, absolutely game changing. It really is. But like I said, you just don't gamble.
Yeah.
You know,
let it happen naturally.
Best case scenario and the worst case scenario, and try and meet somewhere in the middle rather than just purely going on the best case scenario.
They're looking at the monetary gain. They're not looking at the natural progression.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to get there, lads. But if you build a dynasty, you'll get there every year. Just slow down.
Well, look, it's very, very hard to see how Rovers aren't in Europe every year for the next 10 years, isn't it?
Well, Rovers aren't in the conversation when qualifying for Europe because they're shoe-ins.
Yeah.
What, top 4, is it, Shane?
It's top 3 and then fourth if one of the top 3 wins the FAI Cup.
Right, yeah. But Rovers are going to be in the top 3, aren't they? No matter what.
Oh, yeah. Well, Rovers have this year's wrapped up already,
it's over,
let's say. So they have. And at the moment, massive game this Friday. Like, at the moment, you have Bowes and Derry second and third, I think. Or is it the other way around? I think it's Derry maybe second. I think Derry, Drogheda have Bowes, I think, is the live game at Virgin this week, I think. So that's third against fourth. But what you end up with every year, Pop, is because the FAI Cup has nearly always been won by somebody in the top 3. So you end up with whoever's in fourth praying to God that the team in first or have already qualified to win it. So like Drogheda, we mentioned them there, like absolutely devastating for them.
Yeah.
Absolutely devastating for them to qualify for Europe. You know, a club like Drogheda, smallest budget in the Premier Division last year, you know, to be nowhere near relegation trouble, then go win the FAI Cup, qualify for Europe, and then kicked out because of the ownership rules around not allowed having ownership stake in 2 clubs that qualify for the same competition.
Yeah. That's cruel, isn't it?
And listen, like, there's a lot of good guys managing in the League of Ireland, but their manager, Kevin Doherty, he's my top man. Like, I love Kev. He's one of the
done some job,
unbelievable job. He's done an incredible job there. And he would have been one of those ones where you're always wary of going in after a fella who's done a really good job. Do you know what I mean? You want to go in after a fella who's been shit. So that you're going to lift the whole thing. Like, but say the reason he was Tim Clancy's assistant at Drogheda, and Tim did such a good job at Drogheda. Tim got a bigger job. So that's how he became manager. So you're looking going, you're in bother here, Kev. Like, you're going to have to try and match what Tim did. He just outdid what Tim did. Do you know what I mean? He doubled down, did even better than what Tim did.
That's a great achievement, isn't it?
It's absolutely
unreal. They were outstanding. The set up, the system, the shape, the style, that cup final was absolutely spot on.
They're definitely right up there as one of the clubs I would have. We spoke about your Bows and your Sligos, but believe it or not, I very, very nearly went into Drogheda as general manager.
Wow.
They've got a really great guy there called Conor Hoy involved. Conor's dad would have owned the club previous to that.
Okay.
And I went and met with Conor about going in there possibly as in the general manager role back when Tim and Kev were manager and assistant manager. And again, they are a club who to me absolutely cut their cloth to fit their measure. They don't gamble on anything. Do you know what I mean? They always plan for a realistic outcome. Like, it was brilliant, even though they haven't ever gone down since they came up. they always knew that there was a hell of a chance. Like, they started every year for the last 4 years as the bookies' favourites to go down.
Yeah.
And every year they haven't even been close to going.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But yet, at the start of every year, this year's probably a little bit different because they were bought out. Say, I think it was only last year they were bought out, so the budgets, they've gone full time and the budgets have changed a bit. But in the previous 3 years, like, they basically always planned for a scenario whereby it wasn't the end of the world if they went down.
Yeah.
Based on how much money they were spending, it was never going to be the end of the world if they went down, because there was a hell of a chance they might go down. So why would you gamble on not going down if there's a hell of a chance you will go down? If the bookie's making you favourite to go down, they're not making you favourite for no reason.
Bookies are not stupid. Never see a bookie in a bike.
So listen, super club, you know.
Yeah, but there's a lot of them. Like, there's a lot of big football town as well, right?
Yeah. Isn't it mad? A county like Louth
Louth,
has two League
two-
of Ireland clubs.
Yeah.
Two extremely successful League of Ireland clubs.
Yeah. Now Dundalk looked like they were up shit creek there for a while, but things have gone well there.
But Dundalk will come
in.
into the Premier and it'll be granted. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
And then in 5 years' time, they'll probably be in control again. I don't know how long we've gone, but I'm sweating.
This is a fantastic studio, but it is a sweatbox, all right, boys, isn't
It's
it?
a warm one, yeah, but sure, it's like kind of sauna effect, lose a few pounds and all that crap. You know what I mean? We're going to finish rapid fire questions, right?
I'm not very good at
No,
rapid fire.
rapid fire questions usually mean that they're not rapid fire.
No.
So don't feel too bad.
Okay,
you know
that's
what I
all
mean.
right. I feel a bit
Don't feel
better
too
there.
bad if a conversation strikes off on your answers, right?
You have 5 minutes of an answer for each one.
Well, listen, we're in no rush now because I've missed Love Island anyway, so we can take
You're not a Love Island fan, are you? What time is it? Quarter.
10.
I'll beat the Jazz.
It was.
Best player you've managed?
Ah,
I could have asked this in a live show.
I think he did ask me this in the live show, and I think he did like my answer because I was trying to debate between.
Ross King?
He was absolutely top class at underage, all right, but I know it probably has to be Shawnee, yeah.
Yeah.
It probably does, yeah.
I think you were Shawnee and
Listen, he's the only player I've ever had who's gone to
International,
be a senior international player.
say no more.
Yeah.
That's an answer in itself, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
League of Ireland Stadium?
Favourite League of Ireland stadium? Listen, Rovers is a class apart, so it is. Yeah. It's probably
Can
the
you
obvious
see
answer,
clubs
but it's-
catching up?
Yeah. If they get money at the moment, which are they going to prioritise? Their underage structure or their facilities? It's a hard call, isn't it? Like, both of those are. Just don't prioritise your first team would be the key. To me, I think you can make a perfectly plausible argument for why the money needs to go in to your academy setup. And I think you can make a perfectly plausible argument why it needs to go into
stadium.
But don't just piss it away on your first team.
Well, Wexford are kind of in a good spot there. They're kind of fell into a nice bracket where they're getting one built for them. And
Yeah, definitely seems to be the case. Yeah. Now, listen, the only thing I'd be wary of is we've seen so many of these stadiums that were going to happen that didn't happen. Now, it does look like that one is going to happen, but let's actually see it first.
how long was Tallaght sitting there as a Go Stadium?
Yeah.
4 overs in it, 15 years.
Finn Harps the stadium plan for Finn Harps seems to be in existence 15 years.
I never even heard of them having a football stadium plan.
Oh, there's a plan there that's been sitting there for.
No way.
Must be sitting there 10
To
years.
redevelop?
No, I think it's on an adjacent site. I don't think it's a redevelopment of the current one. Don't quote me. I'm not 100% sure.
Relic,
Not
lad.
100% sure. Oh my god.
It's so relic. I'll never forget my night in there. My God.
The worst dressing room you will ever tug out
That's
in your
brutal.
life.
It's
And
what size is this
I'm
place?
talking about having managed in the Kilkenny 3rd Division. Like,
Yeah.
this is the worst.
Yeah. Most underrated player in the league right now.
League of Ireland. I would like to think things are going to kick off. Ryan O'Kane was at Dundalk when I was at Dundalk, and I thought he was a young fella was going to be set for stardom, and things have stalled for him for the last while. He scored the winner for Sligo in that game against Cork the other night, the 3-2.
Oh, right, yeah.
So he did. And I just adore the young fella. I'm really hoping, I'm hoping in 4 or 5 years you're going to be saying to each other, remember Shane Keegan mentioned that lad to us?
Yeah.
That's why I'm hoping that he's going to be one of the bigger names in the League of Ireland over the next few
Next
years.
£1 million player.
Well, Shermelia's already done it, hasn't he? Cahill was supposed to do it until this morning's news. My God,
heartbreaking.
that is absolutely heartbreaking.
What a
Cahill
player.
O'Sullivan
It's
is.
a tough one
He
to
made
take,
he
isn't
made
it?
his senior debut against me in the Munster Senior Cup. I was Cobh Ramblers manager. He was
He
Cork
must
City
have been
manager.
young.
And what's it? 2? He was what? Had he turned 16 yet? I'm not 100% sure. But I remember, like I said that night, oh my God, this young fella is going to be absolutely.
I didn't see. I seen him on television and all that, but I that's a heartbreaker when I heard that this morning.
Big
My
time,
God,
big time. Look, the one at the moment seems to be Owen Elding at Sligo. He is a serious player. So yeah, I'd
Noonan
say
for Rovers. Striker, is it Noonan?
Yeah, Michael. Yeah. Very, very good. Absolutely, no doubt. Very, very good. There's maybe a couple of question marks there in terms of the background and all of that kind of stuff. But hopefully, he kicks on and fulfills the potential that's there. Yeah.
Summer or winter football?
For League of Ireland or for grassroots?
Just your opinion. Summer or winter football?
League of Ireland is better with summer football, and grassroots is better with winter football.
What do you think the follow-up's going to be after having a big meeting, aren't they? Going up soon?
It's not going to happen. It was never going to happen. We told absolutely everybody from day one it was never going to happen.
Do you know we have fantastic pioneers in this county that headed a committee and basically fought the war, and I think they've just about won it.
Listen, I've done. We did a big discussion on it on 42.ie, and I quoted Brian quite a bit.
Oh, did you quote Brian on it? Yeah,
I quoted Brian quite a bit during that podcast. Yeah. I thought he was outstanding in that piece he did on RTE Sport. Look, like, listen, it's a podcast in its own now. If I got really
we're going
into
to
this,
have it.
But like,
we're going to have
something. It's probably in all the media stuff I've done. That podcast was probably the most animated I've ever got. Because
good though, Shane.
It's just so I get so annoyed at the other side's either unwillingness or inability to understand what we're trying to explain here. And like, I can tell you now,
but they were just blanking it, Shane. It doesn't matter what you're saying.
It's down to one thing, lads. Murta Mara said it here months ago. One administrative window.
Yeah, that's it.
That's all
they don't want it because they obviously have the staff 2 windows, 2 or 3 different periods, and they don't want to do it.
Yeah. Everything they said that they would like to do can still be done under the current structure.
100%.
So it can. It can absolutely. What they're saying that there needs to be more football during the summer. Put on more football during the summer. Absolutely, go ahead. Just leave the current season structure as is and put on all the festivals of football and the small-sided blitzes and all of that kind of stuff on during the summer. Perfect, brilliant, plough away.
Yeah.
But you don't need to change the calendar year.
Well, I think the model now is fine. And if you think about it, if you're involved as a young lad or a coach or a manager or chairman in a grassroots club, and your season's running from August to April, May time, when you finish up that, League of Ireland is in the heat of it. So you're actually skipping nothing.
Yeah.
So if you're a kid that's 16 or 17, you can go League of Ireland now if you want. Or you can go watch it, or you can go be a fan, or you can go get involved. I think it's the chokehold soccer needs in this country is to have it 12 months.
Listen, the whole narrative around it, Podge, drove me mad because the picture has been painted that those who were progressively minded and who cared about the greater good, they were for summer football, and any of the rest of us who came with any sort of an argument, no matter how logical and how unable they were to disprove our argument, we were seen as the Stone Age people stuck in and all we care about is our own little corner. That absolutely
you need to move with the
wasn't
times.
the
This
case.
kind of attitude. Fuck off.
We're the Neanderthals here.
Do you know what I mean?
It was almost like a good versus evil. Do you know what I mean? Like we are on the side of evil.
That's a brilliant line, though,
here.
Shane. That is a brilliant line. You're the Neanderthal. You're the one to go around with the club, living in a cave. No, lads. You actually are. You're the one that's way off.
And because so many of the media people in the country are, and I look, a lot of these media people are some of my best friends. You know, people I get on extremely well, which are listening to the debate on the 42. Like the great thing I liked about that was we were able to have a proper argument and still be friends at the end of it. Nowadays it seems like, if your opinion differs to me, we're not talking anymore. I hate that shit.
No.
You have an opinion, I have an opinion. If they differ, let's have a right good row about it. But we're still chatting away at the end of it. Like, so that's why I enjoyed that side of it. But yeah, it did drive me, like, because so much of the media, people involved in the media are obviously living in cities, you know, it was purely seen as, you know, they just couldn't see. Like, I can tell you with almost certainty that if it had been forced through, which, like I said, was never going to happen, if it had been forced through, I don't know would there be a Cobh United in 5 years' time. And I know nobody else, I know not a lot of people care whether there's a Cobh United in 5 years' time, but I'll tell you, I do.
Listen, there's hundreds of clubs across the country would have been in the very same position. We had the guy from Left Wing Back podcast down here, Carlow guy. He's a great GA podcast down here with us.
Yeah.
And he said something that struck me where he said, this isn't the GAA soccer thing. The only gain here is actually probably the rugby.
Yeah.
Because if it does go somewhere, GAA and the soccer are going head to head. Playing tug of war with lads. Rugby's in the background.
Like going into the ditch.
Yeah, when you're finished, you can fall in here, lads.
Yeah.
You know?
And think and the player then, not to sound selfish, and I don't think this is a selfish thing to say, but coaches wise, like how are we like? So for 6 months of the year, I coach my young lads hurling and Gaelic football team. For 6 months of the year, I coach my young fellas soccer team.
Of course.
And pretty much everybody involved in his hurling teams are coaching GAA, and pretty much everybody involved in his GAA teams are coaching soccer. And sorry I keep calling it soccer, but I'm just trying to differentiate between the two for this conversation. Like if they were all on at the same period of time, how? What?
No, it's impossible.
And
it's impossible for the coach and the player.
And then how do the teams survive if every coach has to choose between one of the two codes? The code that you don't have the time to coach, who is coaching that code now anymore? Again, another reason why a club might fold, you know. It's.
But they've put the FEI Junior Cup now. Do you hear that news?
Well,
that they're trying to put that through now with summer soccer starting from this year.
Oh, really?
So I just got word that Badger told me the other night, rang me, said the other night that there's rumblings that the Junior Cup is going to be summer soccer, and I said, well, that's a big mistake they'll ever make, because it'll go from the largest, most watched cup in the country to.
No, it's a bad move.
No, that makes no sense.
Zero sense. Dundalk Premier Champions or First Division Champions, Rovers Premier Champions, yes or no?
Done and dusted on both fronts, yeah. Unfortunately. Unfortunately this early.
Yeah.
Not that I have a problem with either team winning it.
Pair of bastards, unfortunately. Favourite match you were ever involved in?
Honestly, under 14 All-Ireland semi-final.
Brilliant.
We played the Leinster final against the DDSL in Kilkenny. DDSL bet us 3-1. There was a couple of famous faces in that DDSL team. The structure of it at the time was there was 3 provinces rather than 4. I think Ulster and Connacht was the one. So the losing Leinster finalists and the losing Munster finalists played off each other against each other to get back in.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Right, yeah.
So we bet Limerick. Limerick were the losing Munster finalists. We bet Limerick, and that got us back in, only to find ourselves up against DDSL again in the semi-final. The DDSL team we played, 7 of them had started for the Irish international team out in Amsterdam against Holland about a month previous. That's how strong they were. We bet them 6-1.
Wow.
And I can name the entire starting team for you. I can describe every single one of the 6 goals. It's still, Mikey got a hat-trick the same day. It's still the game that blows my mind the most of all. My first ever game with Wexford is a close second, beating Waterford 5-1 on my first ever game as League of Ireland manager. But no, the DDSL one with Peter Shaw on the team.
Yeah.
We had a good few Carlow boys back then, so I had a lot of boys that you'd know that I'd say that you didn't realise played for me down to you. Chris Blake.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Blakey.
Chris played for me.
Chris on that.
What he was?
He was
no, he was 1 year older.
You described him well.
Ah, stop. So he couldn't be any different. The father was bowled out too, so he couldn't have been any different. Mark
Fitzgerald.
Yeah,
centre half.
Cormac O'Toole.
Yeah, Cormac O'Toole's good lad. Yeah.
Younger brother Feaker, was it? No?
Feaker, yeah.
Who's Mark Fitz, Papa?
Mark Fitz of Hanover.
Oh, yes.
Played centre half.
He was a powerhouse now. He was a right good
he's
player.
He's back playing a bit of soccer this year.
See, all these boys knew what played in the Kilkenny League. Like.
Yeah, you would have had them, yeah.
How could I forget the most famous of them all? Tabuco.
Oh, Charlie. Yeah.
I would have had a good few Carlow boys playing on my Kilkenny representative sides back then, because, as I say, you had a Peter Shaw who might have been at a Bridge or a Paulstown, and then you had New Oak as well, and that. So, they're probably the ones that...
Mark hasn't played a whole lot of soccer since he played youth, sort of. He sort of went on the Gaelic road.
Really, yeah.
And he came back playing a bit with the B team this year. And I said, Pat, my brother's over the B team. I said, you're getting a proper lad there now. Yeah. He said, he's deadly.
Oh, jeez, he was right good at underage level.
He can easily play a Premier. But he wants to tip around with the boys for the crack. He was playing Astro during the week when the Gaelic was off with the boys.
Really,
and he said to the group of lads, hey boys, man, we go up and play together with Hanover. And 8 or 9 of them came at the one go.
And who's his GA club?
Airog.
Is it, yeah?
Yeah, Airog, yeah. Moss Kenny, Jamie Kenny. They would have been all Chris Blake. They would have been all in the Hanover Youths team. They won the whole lot as well. Super player.
Yeah.
He's a leader, like.
I was managing a Clover under 13 team. I think we're still the only Clover underage team to ever win a Premier Division title. But I remember that we were a point ahead of Evergreen, and Evergreen had one game left. This was the most star-studded Evergreen team you've ever seen in your life. Now it was Mike Drennan, Sean Maguire, all in it, and New Oak. Evergreen had New Oak in their last league game, and we all drove down to watch it. And Mark Fitz, I think Evergreen were leading most of the game, and Mark Fitz scored an equaliser with about a minute left, which sent the final, or sent the title to a playoff. We ended up winning the playoff and winning the league on the back of it. But I haven't seen a man in a long time. But he wasn't old enough for me to buy him a pint back then. But I'll tell you what, I'll buy him a pint the next time I see him. He's owed a pint from 20 years ago. Yeah. So he is.
It's brilliant the way you can remember them, isn't it? Yeah. Remember all them moments.
But you're back, like no matter what level you're at, Podge, whatever level you're at, it's the most important thing to the world at that time.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like I don't think I wanted Dundalk to beat Shamrock Rovers in an FAI Cup final any more than I wanted Mark Fitz to equalise that day. Like, genuinely, because that's the most important thing in your world at that time. Like, which is why I said that. Like that's the day we bet DDSL. That automatically, instinctively comes to my mind as my favourite game of all time before any League of Ireland game would remotely come to my mind for it. You know?
Yeah, it's nuts. It's nuts how to stick with you. It's from Pop.
Look. I love the way the man speaks of passion and knowledge. It's fantastic, and it's a pleasure to have you on again, Shane.
Fair play, mate.
Thanks for coming. Yeah,
I'm in esteemed company. I mean, who else has Gav done 2?
Gav has done 2. Badger's done 22.
I'm a long way behind you. I need to get big-headed yet.
You'll never catch Badger.
You'll be an annual. You'll get your hat-trick ball the next time. I can guarantee you that. It's a pleasure. I love listening to you. And we had Damien Rain last week. Told him to listen to him all day. Until you're a close second.
Fair play, mate. Good crack.
Lads, live show is up, Papa. Get your fucking tickets. 15th of August, Scraggs Alley, Carlow Premier League preview. It's going to be a cracker. We'll have every club represented. We'll have a couple of games, a bit of crack. There might be a hot chip challenge in there somewhere for someone brave enough.
You're a coward.
Shane,
you won't do it.
I'm not doing it, Papa, no.
Do a challenge anyway. Like, if you lose, you do it. If you win,
2025.
Pick someone out of the crowd.
I'm 40. Peer pressure doesn't work anymore. Do you know what I mean? Shane, you're a gent. Thanks so much.
Cheers, man.
Absolutely.
Lads, thanks for your support. Thanks for your feedback, your comments. Everything is kind of kicking off for us. Thanks to the team here at Ampifi. Thanks so much. And as always, lads, it's not my podcast.
Not my podcast.
It's Carlow Soccer's podcast. It's your podcast. Good luck and God bless.
Brilliant.
That's full time on this week's episode of the Housey Podcast. Available on all podcasting platforms. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter/X. Proudly sponsored by Ampifi. Got a story to tell? A voice that needs to be heard? Get in touch with us here in Ampifi, Carlow Town's professional home for podcasters of all kinds. We can be found on Instagram at Ampifi Podcast Studio. Ampifi, power up your podcast.